The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Stop! Damn it!
be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this holy shit, there's been a French invasion Thursday, June 27, 2024. This program starts now.
Sports
are happening in a big way, and the NBA started its draft last night for the first time ever. I believe it's a two-night affair where the first round was last night, then tonight will be the second round. And will Bronny James get drafted this evening? We shall see. What team's he going to go to? And will LeBron be a member of that team immediately after Bron gets drafted somewhere? We have no idea, but what we do know is 3 of the top 10 picks, including the first 2 last night, were French.
Yeah.
Whoa. 1, 2, and 6. 3 of the top 10. English is their second language. French is their first language. This obviously follows last year where Wembanyama was the number 1 overall pick, and then he learned how to play in the NBA and started dominating absolutely everybody.
Yep.
You start going through the list, it's like, wait a minute, the French can ball. So then I start thinking about the piece of information that I learned yesterday, that the USA lost to Lithuania in the World Cup. I didn't know Lithuania played basketball. I didn't even know they had a team. I had no idea. Vakaitis, semi-pro.
Right,
The only Lithuanian basketball thing I've ever heard. He scored too much. Jackie Moon had to pay everybody in the building corn dogs because that was the promotion. That's the only thought I had of Lithuania and Lithuania basketball. They beat the United States this past offseason.
Whoa.
So now going to the Olympics, we got a revamped team, a couple more people, but we got Lithuania potentially knocking us out. Think about this. Think about this French basketball team in 2028.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of size.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Not great.
Like, is this a Sean McVay situation?
Oh.
Where every team is just hoping that they find a Wemby somehow? Like, yeah, he's not 7'6", but he's still Wemby. You know, he's got he came through the same leagues as Wemby. He understands the game of basketball as much as Wemby. You know, these French basketball players, you know, can do this. And obviously, I wasn't the only person that started thinking this on the internet. NBA champion Trey says Wemby got all France getting drafted, and then Cameron Hayes saying he gonna single-handedly give 5 GMs fired.
Chance.
But this is what happened in the NFL when Sean McVay had success. Every owner was just like, "Excuse me, you had a sip of tea with Sean McVay. Well, you're our new head coach. And how about you? You were once in a meeting room in which Sean McVay was teaching football. Yeah, you're our new head coach." If this is what's happening with the whole Wemby situation, that's wild. But what's much more likely is the fact that the French kind of development system in basketball is seemingly awesome. These dudes are going to take over the entire league. Now, obviously, you think about Luka and Joker and everything happening around that conversation and who's the next face of the league. Well, these French guys, you know what they say about the French? Super smooth.
That's right. That's right.
Like Wemby's going to take over.
What? Yeah.
Wemby's already got the alien logo. He's going to move so much merch. So the French are just going to be kind of like naturally taking over basketball. And then all these guys are going to be phenomenal, I assume. I assume all these guys are going to be good. You don't go 1, 2 or whatever. And the NBA draft, I guess, is much more hit or miss than any other draft because it takes a special person to make it to the NBA. There's only so many spots. But look out, we're in a French world now. This is the FBA.
Oh, no.
We are in the French Basketball Association. That's what I learned last night.
I refuse to believe that.
Think about what the 2031 Frenchman is going to look like. Because last night, a couple 2031 draft picks were traded.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a big conversation piece. But Charania told us a few weeks ago, that although people think the Phoenix Suns are completely screwed, they got a 2031 draft pick they can trade.
Yep.
And we laughed in Charania's face whenever he said that. We're like, there's no way that's how people think. Then last night, Spurs like, get rid of it.
Yep.
2031, we don't need it. And then Timberwolves was like, excuse me, we've had our eye on the 2031 class. They're in 7th grade right now, or maybe 6th grade, depending upon if they're incredibly educated and they can jump a class. These dudes can hoop.
They can ball.
They don't even know English yet. They're still just speaking French. They're saying oui, bonjour, ça va every single day, and then hoop is what they're getting all day. So the NBA draft, although we didn't know anybody, we took a couple things away from it. Kling Kong's the dog.
Of course.
Zach Edey and John Moran are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's already started on the IG.
Clearly.
The coverage was certainly suspect. A lot of people were wondering how the hell that was what it was. But nonetheless, good show, good program, and future face of the league maybe, or future complete bust. We have no idea. I guess that's how the NBA is. And whenever they scan through the video of the first-round draft picks of the NBA, it does certainly feel like we are in a different era of sport. I don't want to say shorter guys, but
I think you can make that
smaller
argument.
guys, seemingly.
Svelte.
A lot of svelte guys, a lot of incredible fashion.
Oh, yeah.
And a group of dudes that could propel themselves into living a lifelong dream and making a shit ton of money, or a bunch of guys where the biggest moment is going to be on draft night when they got drafted to an NBA team. So congrats to everybody got drafted last night.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll have Charania on in about 5 minutes to chit-chat about, hey, Brian didn't get drafted.
Oh.
You're Phil Posky.
Whoa.
There's a lot of guys that probably didn't get drafted that maybe we know, or maybe not. We have no clue.
Probably
The
not.
Fox Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Boston Connor at 30th pick overall.
Yeah.
The Boston Celtics had it. We had Brad Stevens on the other day. Brad Stevens was basically like, we might move up, we might move down.
Uh-oh.
We might stay put.
Easy.
And then before the draft started, I saw Kling Kong celebrating a Boston Celtics 18th banner literally after Adam Silver says he's like, yeah.
Of course.
And then they go over and I'm like, holy, wait a minute. Was that Kling Kong right there just celebrating the Boston Celtics? So I guess he's been a lifelong fan now, obviously. I think he's with Portland or something like that on the complete opposite side of the country. Good luck to him in Portland. He's going to be great. He's a champion. He's a winner, which is the same thing everybody said about literally every human that got drafted last night. How hard they work. They're a winner. They know how to do this entire thing. But at 30, you guys got a weapon.
Absolute dog.
And you actually came in this morning and were like, Celtics got better last night.
Yeah.
I wonder how many teams felt that way after the draft.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many did. I know that there are some teams out there that are kind of hoping for more. The Sixers in particular, I saw on the internet, people weren't as happy with Daryl Morey. But again, this Baylor Scheierman guy is an absolute junkyard dog. We kind of showed the video of all the draft class and what everyone looked like in the new era. This guy's an old school junkyard dog. I mean, you can just tell. I had no idea who he was before last night. I will not.
He's a walking bucket.
To be transparent.
Just so everyone knows, I had no clue. But when you look at everything that he does in the minute and 30 highlight tape that I watched, I mean, he's a freak of nature. He's got Celtics written all over him. And I didn't really think about this till this morning. There is a chance that we drafted him because his number is 55 and he can wear that for the Boston Celtics because there aren't too many numbers. But yeah, when you watch this guy play, all you see is Larry Bird. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he wasn't a top 10 pick. I mean, look at this right here. He can get to the bucket, fadeaway jumper, lefty,
leg
bucket.
sleeve.
Leg sleeve, great style, headband. Oh, let me just see. Yeah, I can pull up from 3. Oh, off the dribble. Yeah, easy for me.
How's his arm bar? Missoula going to like his moxie?
So that's the thing. That's what I wasn't sure about. I was like, let me get eyes on like a couple headshots. Let me see what this guy looks like just standing there.
He is a bucket.
He's a
walking
bucket. And he's a brick shit house. I mean, his neck goes out to his shoulders, basically, and I'm not 100% sure, but from the look of his ears, it looks as though he might have a little cauliflower in him. So just all around night, I didn't think that I could feel better about the Boston Celtics after they win a championship.
6'7"?
He's 6'7".
A lot of grin jam on this guy.
He's 6'7", and again, I might not be completely sure. I'm pretty sure he's 275. He's a
So this
thick
is
He's the next Kyle Korver.
This is the exact reaction you had to Cole Strange getting drafted.
bingo. Well, yeah.
This was the exact reaction.
And just like I said it would, Cole Strange is a dog. I mean, we know exactly. Now, granted, he might not play this year because of his knee injury, but this is a different situation, okay? Baylor Scheierman, is everything that the Boston Celtics were looking for. And, I mean, seeing him pull up from logos, I mean, this is in Hawaii. Most people in Hawaii would be like, I'm trying to hang out. Scheierman's just trying to get buckets. And that's kind of the difference in the Creighton Dogs.
Yeah, everybody in Hawaii is chucking shakas. He's chucking buckets.
Bingo.
Yeah,
bingo.
Yeah,
Brad Stevens did it again. NBA Exec of the Year. I can't believe that the league look at that. He's got vision, too. I didn't even make it this far into the highlight tape to see passes. I didn't know he could do that. But yeah,
is he wearing that headband in Boston?
I hope so. He better. As long as he has the legs. Honestly, I don't care if he wears 50 headbands, but he better shoot the goddamn lights out when he gets to Boston, because he is. A lot of people were like, oh, this guy's going to be great in Portland playing for the Red Lobsters, the Red Claws. Look, this guy is on a one-way ticket to Sixth Man of the Year next year. I wouldn't be surprised if he steals Rookie of the Year from all those Frenchies that we just
didn't
listed.
expect a 5-minute promo on this guy whenever I sent it over, but that is, just for everybody to understand, that's how a Boston Celtics fan walked in this morning after the draft.
Yeah.
Like, legit, pick 30. So, congrats to everybody else. I assume everybody's feeling the same exact way about their draft picks. There were some people that were getting drafted, and it didn't feel like anybody knew who they were. Like anybody was on the television.
Sure.
No.
Anybody on the internet. I mean, the internet last night was, hey,
Hats off.
NBA Twitter.
Always good.
I'm not getting into it. The naming of the Twitter has been interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm the right guy to be like, we all know that is not what it's actually.
Sure.
Probably not.
But boy, it was alive last night.
Hot. I mean, the J.J. Redick, Dalton Knecht stuff, too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Dalton Knecht, we watched him at Tennessee. Like, okay, this guy, dog. Who the hell is this guy? I had no idea this guy existed. I guess he's only played at Tennessee 1 year. He transferred. I think he was at some Colorado, Denver or something.
Northern.
Yeah, I learned the story a little bit last night. But he, like, creates his own shot, can get buckets, seemingly knows basketball, knows who played a lot. He's a little bit older, I guess, which is the big conversation. But saw the internet last night saying, like, well, what happened to Dalton Knecht? What did Dalton Knecht do? What did Dalton Knecht do? He drops up. He's with the Lakers now. So now the Lakers get like seemingly, now I don't know the difference between college ball and the NBA. I don't know if Dalton Knecht's going to be able to do the same shit he was doing at Tennessee in the NBA. But even if he can, if he just got to put up shots, I think he knocks them down. So it's like, I think the Lakers got better last night too. And this is just from a very rudimentary eye of basketball, just watching stuff. It's like Dalton Knecht was one of the guys we were watching during the season and during the tournament time there, both SEC and Margaret was like, this is an NBA guy right here. How come I didn't know that this guy existed is actually what I said.
A lot of people had them winning the night, and now they can trade Austin Reeves. Like when you have Dalton Knecht, you don't have to keep Austin Reeves.
What's that?
What do you mean?
What does that mean?
What are you talking about?
What is that?
Why trade?
We trade white bread for mayonnaise. Is that what you're...
Yeah, is that what
a lot of people were saying.
Joining us now, is it this guy?
Could be.
Hosting a draft show for Stadium last night. Stadium is a sports network that covers sports.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
You all have heard of it. You know it. If this guy didn't work for him, we'd still know it exists. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NBA insider, Charania.
Hey.
Wow.
You look amazing. You're glowing.
Day one.
You are glowing,
Day
Shams.
one.
What's that?
What a day one of the NBA draft. So many pick swaps, pick changes, guys going up, guys going down. I mean, day two is going to be interesting. Obviously, everyone's talking about Filipowski today in the NBA draft, Bronny James. So, a lot to talk about.
Okay, so Filipowski.
And Dalton Knecht. And also to set the record straight, the Lakers, I don't see any scenario where they're moving Austin Reeves this offseason. J.J. Redick, if anyone's seen the way J.J. Redick has been glowing about Austin Reeves, J.J. Redick wants Austin Reeves to really fulfill his potential, whether that's being an all-star caliber player, whatever it is. He has high hopes for Austin Reeves.
Okay, thank you, Shams, because racist Tone Diggs said,
crazy.
It can only have a certain amount of whites on a team. That's literally what he just said.
What the internet said.
Hey, you're Italian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Shams? Good to see you, brother.
Okay, so...
This Boston Irish guy.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Congrats, by the way.
That really felt like glass house situation if we were to just paint broad brushes all of a sudden. Anyways, let's move along. Let's talk about last night. The French invasion. This is real. 3 of the top 10 picks come from France, and obviously Wemby last year, number 1 overall, and everybody's expecting him to go on and take over the entire NBA, both on the defensive side and the offensive side for the San Antonio Spurs, who also had a good night last night. Let's talk about the French invasion, though. I saw the internet obviously talking about the Sean McVay effect, where in the NFL, once Sean McVay had success as a young offensive-minded head coach, anybody that was around him got head coaching jobs because owners were like, we would like that. This isn't just because Wemby is the next guy. This is because the French have phenomenal basketball development and academies over there? And has this always been the case, Shams?
It's because the skill level is so high. Talking to NBA teams, talking to people around the league, especially last night in the days leading up to the draft, they point to the way that they develop players there. These guys are facing pro players. They're in pro leagues. They're being developed in pro atmospheres so young in their amateur life. And you think about how that compares and contrasts to players coming up here in America. It's a lot of AAU. And especially now, there's a lot of brand building. There's a lot of attention drawn off the court. Whereas when you're abroad, when you're Zachary Risache, I was looking at even his Instagram account. Like, he's going to no doubt gain a ton of Instagram followers and social media followers throughout his NBA career. The Atlanta Hawks really believe they found a player that has such a high upside and can be a rotational player from day one. But he doesn't have the followings of the Jared McCains and different players in this NBA draft. And that's not a knock at the American players. It's just the way that the NBA teams scout those prospects there. They point to the skill level and the way the players develop in the pro atmosphere at such a young age.
We just chatted about Dalton Knecht. Obviously, he was the complete opposite about developing at a young age. It seems like he had a little bit of an extendo period time in college. And then when we get introduced to him at Tennessee late in the year, we all think to ourselves, this guy is lightning. This is a guy that's must-watch television, can create his own shot, and was good. And I think the Tennessee folks obviously loved him. He called his year down there in Knoxville the greatest year of his life, I believe, last night on a couple different occasions.
That looks like a young that really looks like a young Bogdan Bogdanovic, the Atlanta Hawks. If you see the way he shoots, like the way his shot is, like they're really high on him. And I don't know if it was the age.
Why do you fall? Yeah, that was going to be my question. Okay, so you're wondering the same exact thing here. Why do you think he fell? Because I saw that being a narrative on the internet. Aside from everybody getting cooked, there was jokes everywhere last night for the NBA draft. Might have been one of the greatest internet events in some time. To be clear, with the mostly X, the jokes that are flying on X about the entire draft about people that I've never heard of. So obviously, people that are much more clever than I. Bang, we're hitting home runs. But one of the narratives was like, what happened to Dalton Knecht? How this entire thing take place? Because I think he even had odds to be number 1 overall at one point, and then he falls all the way down. What happened with that? What legitimately happened?
I mean, the age thing is the one factor when I talk to NBA teams since day one of the draft ended last night. Off the top of my head,
he's 23.
23 years old.
So you get to the point where you're 22 and beyond. I mean, I guess they want to hold that against you. But, I mean, the Lakers had no idea that – I mean, truly, teams say it after the draft, like, we didn't know he'd get here. This is the guy we wanted all along. I don't think anyone in that Lakers war room last night had any idea that Dalton Knecht would be available for them at 17. When I talk to people around the league about him, I mean, this is a guy that's a gym rat, obviously plays the right way. You see the way he shoots the ball. LeBron James literally gave him a shout-out 2 months ago, and that obviously rings true. Like, you have to think about that when you think about the Lakers. Rob Pelinka said last night, JJ Redick's already drawing up pin-down plays for him, out-of-bounds plays for him, off screen. So he's someone that has some moxie to him. He's got some swag to him, and I think you need that if you're a player that's going to play for the Lakers and try to be someone that's going to play immediately. And they view him that way. Last year, their rookie, Jalen Hood-Schifino, he was not that way, but they really view Dalton Knecht as someone that can play for them from day one.
Kind of a ricochet shot to old buddy from last year. Let's talk about Dalton Knecht here. So you said J.J. Redick. It was reported this morning that J.J. Redick started drawing up plays immediately after drafting him for Rob Pelinka, saying, oh, this is all the shit that we could do with this guy. I assume they didn't do any of that or prepare for him at all because of what you mentioned earlier, where they didn't think that he would fall to them. So they're excited as hell that he's going to be there. And you said LeBron James gave him a shout out before him. LeBron James hosted a podcast with the new coach, gave a shout out to the new draft pick. Is his kid also going to get drafted then tonight to the Lakers? Do they have a pick tonight? And how does that entire situation kind of work out, you think? Because obviously, Bronny James was not drafted in the first round last night. I believe when you came on our show like 3 months ago, whenever we first started talking about this, you said that the Lakers are not scared to spend the second round draft pick on Bronny James. I believe was the initial conversation was that he was a second rounder. Then I think everything just started heating up and people are going to go first round. News cycle kind of got a little crazy. And then obviously last night there's people trying to bury Bronny for not getting drafted in the first round. But I don't think that was ever the actual real expectations for it all. What are the expectations for Bronny tonight, and what is the storyline going to be?
Certainly the expectation is for him to get drafted tonight or today in round 2. For everything around Bronny James throughout this pre-draft process, his agent Rich Paul at Clutch Sports, like, it's been about investment. Finding a team that's willing and wants to invest in multi-year contract in him. He worked out for 2 NBA teams, Pat. I think we talked about this on the show, I want to say a month ago. The Phoenix Suns, who had the 22 pick, they moved back. They got 28. They have a pick in the second round as well. We'll see what they do with that. The Suns and the Lakers, those are the 2 teams, and that was intentional, finding teams that believed in him, wanted to invest a multi-year contract in him. And the way that Rich Paul handled Chris Livingston last year, I think you have to look at that when you think about a guy like Bronny James, who, if you're trying to position him to a specific team or a specific spot, where in this case, could it be the Lakers at 55? Would not surprise me if at any point in the second round, there's going to be calls made to be like, listen, don't draft him. He's got his spot already. Let him continue to pass you by, because I think the way that they've handled this process from the beginning is it's not going to be just a two-way contract or a question of where he's going to end up in the G League or whatever. It's being on the roster and being on a multi-year contract, and I expect that to be the case for Bronny James. The question is where. And obviously, going into the second round, talking to NBA teams, 55, if the Lakers are there and Bronny's still on the board, that's the guy that a lot of people expect at 55, but we'll see if anyone is shrewd enough or believes in Bronny James enough today as this draft goes on to really step up for him with that investment.
Okay, so Rich Paul is telling people don't draft him because there were stories coming out like he wouldn't go work out. Like teams were asking for him to work out, and it was hard to get him in the building, they were saying. And then I guess that's what happens when you have Rich Paul as your agent. Like, that type of thing can work because of the relationships he has around the league and the say he has around the league. Is there a chance that a team drafts him just to piss off the James family? Like, is there a chance that happens?
That would be bold. I mean, listen, I can't lie. I've heard in the last few days, teams being like, hey, like, what if we just use our mid-second round pick on Bronny James and just see how it goes and see the development. But I think that relationship with the agency, and obviously, if you don't have that investment or have had that conversation about where you stand with Bronny James, awesome. I think that does play a part. That does play a significant role. And obviously, when you draft someone like Bronny James, there's more to that, right? Like, where do you play him? Where is his placement? What do you view as his future? And him going to Phoenix, going to Lakers,
utilizing their positioning in the NBA. Yeah. Hey, we've given the NBA enough. So this is right. We're in this thing, and that's how everybody's going to take this entire situation. And if it ends up with him working out with the Lakers, it's going to be a beautiful story. Everybody's going to media's going to use it. The NBA will use it. Obviously, the Lakers will hope that it'll work out well. And if LeBron stays at the Lakers, right, there's no chance LeBron's leaving the Lakers at this point, right?
The Lakers, I mean, we talked about this, I think the day after the Lakers season ended. We talked about Darvin Ham. We talked about how LeBron James expects to play at least two more NBA seasons, up to 2 seasons, and that the Lakers have interest and want to draft Bronny James. They know the vision that LeBron has had He's spoken about it publicly. But at the end of the day, the way Rich Paul has handled Bronny James' pre-draft process is identifying the teams, whether it's Phoenix, the Lakers, if someone else comes about in the second round that wants to give him that investment.
So is LeBron staying?
Deal.
LeBron staying with the Lakers? Then that's what it sounds like. He's opting in.
I think all signs have obviously looked at the Lakers as the team, because you look at the landscape around the league. Which team? There's not many teams with cap space this summer that make sense for a guy like LeBron James. Is he going to go to a Philadelphia? I mean, at this point, at the almost 40 years old, moving cross country to Philadelphia, I think the expectation around the league has been the Lakers, but he has also wanted to see how do they manage the roster, how do they manage the draft, how do they manage the early part of free agency over the next few days. That's going to be very important. The Lakers have other decisions they have to make and wait on. They're waiting on D'Angelo Russell to opt in or opt out of his contract this weekend. And they have roster decisions to make as well. And also that includes the draft tonight.
Okay, I'm excited to see that. We'll hire your co-host. We'll draft your kid.
Of course. Yeah.
We'll get you Dalton Knecht.
Yep.
And also, if he opts in, it's how many million a year?
Well, if he opts in, I think it's $51.4 million if he opts in. If he opts out, I mean, he can still dictate his contract. It'll be a 2-year deal. The Lakers have said it. I've reported it. They're willing to offer whatever LeBron James wants. If he wants to opt in, just for the year.
This kid from Ohio.
Good work.
This kid from Ohio.
You did it.
If he wants to opt in and extend a year, they'll do that. If he wants to opt in and have 2 years and do a 3-year max $164 million deal, they'll do that. If he wants to opt out and get a no trade clause, they'll do that. So LeBron James has a franchise that has been very upfront about the fact that they want to bring him back on any term and that they have interest in drafting Bronny James, which we reported on about a month plus ago.
And we do know that he has a good relationship with the Lakers and Ms. Buss, because Happy National Women's Day.
Yep, of course.
National Women's
Exactly.
Day.
Hanging
Remember
out.
the video where they were
Good video.
hanging out. Congrats, LeBron. Hey, man.
Did it again.
Kid from Ohio. Running it.
Yeah. Stud.
Running it.
Why don't you just ask for
they say-
two
A lot of
years,
Midwest
200
love on
million?
this show right now.
They say
a lot
he's
of
not
Midwest
running it.
love. Indy, Chicago. You got some Ohio, Cleveland, Akron love over here. You know,
That's
a lot of Midwest.
Creighton.
Sometimes you just got to point that Creighton, obviously doing it for the Celtics in a big way. But yeah, sometimes you got to point this out, just to remind people, like, hey, yeah, there's a lot going on, and just to kind of put a whole bow on the LeBron. He runs the league.
Yes, he does.
Congratulations.
No, he's not
That's
making.
so awesome.
He's not making decisions for the Lakers, though.
Yeah, you remember when that was said?
Yeah.
That was not reported by Shams.
I will say, if LeBron was really running the Lakers, they would have traded that 17th pick most likely. They would have went out and got, maybe made another upgrade. But I think the Lakers have to be operating with a level of prudency. And when you look at JJ Redick, he looked at that roster and he really feels like that roster has a shot and has a chance. And I'm
That's
very
a roster with
curious to see
LeBron
how JJ
James
Redick
on it?
does his thing.
Go ahead. You got your question for sure.
Yeah, Shams, can you just explain this to us? Because is there like 4 or 5 LeBron James in the 2031 draft class? Because last night, especially after talking to John Calipari, the Spurs traded a Kentucky guard, and Kentucky guards, as we now know in the NBA, are a thing, especially pairing one with Wembanyama. Like, why did that happen? And why do teams want 2031 draft picks? Is it solely so that they can flip them for a superstar player, or what's that situation?
Well, a lot of it depends on, do you want the player? Do you have interest in drafting at that position? And clearly the Spurs at that point felt like, listen, we got Stephon Castle. That's our guy. At 8, they didn't feel as highly enough to move on. Like, listen, they could have went through with drafting a Rob Dillingham or someone else, but to be able to get value long-term, and with San Antonio, the way that they're building, I think trying to go get some players using their cap space this summer, some veterans that you can really put around Victor Wembanyama that can help the process. I don't think they're trying to skip steps, though, in San Antonio. They know you have to be smart when you have space. You don't want to invest. You don't want to go in with the wrong players. So you
2031.
kind of kick
they got it.
You kind of kick the can the can down the road, and you have 2031. And now this is a franchise. Brian Wright, their general manager, he has so many assets, guys. Like, he's got multiple first-round picks he can trade, swaps, seconds. They have the ability, when you think about players in the marketplace, you think about a guy, point guard is obviously going to be the spot that this team is going to be rumored with for years to come, right? And you think about this offseason, the Trae Youngs, the Darius Garlands, there's going to be more guys, whether it's this summer, next summer. which player do you find and identify that you want to put your chips on the table? We saw the Knicks. They put their chips on the table. 5 first-round draft picks for Mikal Bridges.
5.
Which player will the Spurs find that they want to put their chips in? And I think that's the question they're going to have this summer and next summer, depending on how this franchise moves forward. But that was really what that was in a lot of ways, is giving yourself flexibility.
Yeah, and the fact, that in 2040, the picks that you have is like so many.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
So if you mess up the 2031 draft, the 2040 draft is like right around the corner.
Right.
And I know the 2031 one is like 7 years from now, but
I think they said Pop is going to be like 82 or something.
yeah, but Mr. Zach Carter here is going to be 19.
Yeah.
Jacob Carter here is going to be 19. He's 6'7", 275 at the age of 12. Okay, so he is potentially who they were trading the 2031 pick for. And what
I don't know if they're going to have that pick in a couple of years, Pat.
You don't think they're hanging on for Jacob fucking Carter? You're out of your mind, Shams. You don't know ball. That's what I just learned right there. Jeez, look, he's got touch. He's got tenacity. He's got grit. He's playing with 19-year-olds here. This is a 12-year-old.
He looks like a man. He looks like Zach Edey right now.
Yeah,
the way he is dominating on the floor.
He's supposed to be a left tackle, but he has too damn good a touch around the rim that they just tell him, we're going to stick with hoops as well. What a dog. Maybe he is the 2031 draft pick that everybody's going to be trading some shit for.
Well, it makes sense.
It does. Jacob's a dog. Everybody knows it. All right, Shams, we appreciate the hell out of you. We'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully, after what takes place tonight.
I'm down. Hit me.
Hey, how many viewers last night on your draft thing?
6 million viewers on Stadium, Twitter, live show. 6 million. We had 9.5 million last year, Pat. I will
more than the NBA
add
Finals.
that.
Yeah.
And
6 million.
I'm happy about it.
That's almost the NHL Game 7.
Yeah, more than World Series.
6 million. Holy hell.
Can we get to 10? Can we get to 10? Can we get to 10? You combine day 1, you combine day 2. Last year for day 1 and 2 it was 9.5 million.
And for that 6 million thing, they're not combining anything else.
No.
No, that is just
eyeballs.
Holy shit.
Maybe 12
million eyeballs.
Yeah,
12 million eyeballs.
No, you're right.
12 million eyeballs. Maybe. Wow, we don't know how many one-eyed people are watching.
True.
But still,
so we'll just say
you
like
can never trust. You can never trust everything on the internet.
Oh, really?
You would hope numbers don't lie. You would hope numbers don't lie. You would hope.
Well, if every number's wrong, then we're all right.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Hey, Tommy.
Stadium's got a great draft show.
Oh, unbelievable.
They got Shams on there doing
Top
it. 6 million people watching that thing.
That's crazy. More than Game 7 of the Stanley Finals, and for a draft that they're maybe saying is one of the worst in the last 10 years.
We're in the middle of all this now that we are on a linear thing. You can go back and just check the tapes on our thoughts on all these numbers, ours included. Yeah. I mean, everything is just how the fuck do they know? Like how, and what do you count? Especially on X now, but 6 million's a lot. They're judging everything the same. So the number,
that's the one.
You can kind of go through it all. That's a huge number. Congrats, Shams.
And
everybody would be watching and knowing that place exists if Shams wasn't there.
Yeah.
At Stadium. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joining us now is a man who's on every network, or at least should be. He's an author. He's a speaker. He's a daily newsletter writer. He's a podcast host, live show host. He's a former GM. He's a former advisor. He's a Super Bowl champion multiple times. And he's forgotten more about football than any of us have ever learned. Ladies and gentlemen, Paisano, Michael Lombardi.
Hello, Pat. I was one of those 6 million. I had to flip off the other one and go there. It was good. I love draft shows. I really do. I'm a draft Nick. I know. Don't close your eyes. It'll be okay. But we need information. Is everybody the greatest basketball player in the history of basketball in the draft? I just got to ask you that. Is that it? I mean, is everybody great? Like, can't we just say this guy's a good fit here or this guy wouldn't be a good fit? Can't we be honest, or is it a celebration of greatness? Well, I'm asking. I'm just curious. You're a TV guy.
I think it's a celebration of greatness because it's a big night. I do think there were some people that potentially nobody knew who they were. I think there was some of that where, we didn't really get much. And then I assume it's not easy with how worldwide this has become, Like the French, Lombo, the French are, I'm worried about
Amazing.
the 2028 Olympics. I am worried about 2028 Olympics. We talked to Tyler.
How did they not win a gold medal? They got all the good players. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on in France. I didn't know that. I thought it was baguettes over there. I mean, look at what the hell's happening here.
Baguette.
I mean, we got all these players getting picked here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, it's the power of the world is flat, as Thomas Friedman wrote about in his book. I think it's just the connectivity.
Can't say that.
Come on.
Can't say it. Can't say it. We can't get into that whole conversation.
Well, I think it's great that we have sports that expend. I mean, we're going to have the NFL over there in Europe at some point. You know that. It's going to happen. It's great.
It is great. Congrats to the French making a bunch of money. Your service is catching up right now. Your mouth just moved at 1,000,000 miles. You look like Twisted there for a second. Maybe bust the rhymes on a couple films, but it's all caught up. And you said the world is flat, and I think that was a metaphor about like everything being connected as opposed to the actual world being flat, which there are humans out there that believe that.
No, that was the title of a book. I was referring to a title of a book.
Yeah. We got to make sure, because the way our show is judged, pretty historically, that is just something we have to break down. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL, although the NBA is in the middle of its draft right now. Whenever you think about the NFL, what's the big news right now that we should be chatting about? What is something we should actually look at that matters? Is it all these guys over at Fashion Week? It's awesome. Boys are doing Fashion Week. Seems to be camaraderie growing. Travis Kelce performed amazing on that Taylor Swift stage in front of 90,000 people. It doesn't feel like there's many contract situations other than Aiyuk. That's the only thing we need to be talking about? Is that the only real thing that's taking place right now, Lomba, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I think the next quarterback contract's really going to be big. Matthew Stafford, the Rams going to pay him, and I think that's going to be critical because he's really a key component, and he wants a new contract. Everybody knows that.
Can we get that guy some feel good too with everything else that's happening with Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think, to me, the Tua contract's really interesting. Adam Schefter reported this morning that they want to do a deal with him, but they want to make it a market deal. And I think that's kind of, they have a really good team around Tua, and Tua was very clear when he came out and said, I want a market deal, meaning that he understands where the market is, and he wants to be in the Goff, Herbert neighborhood. And I'm sure they're probably saying, look, we really help you out. And these are the hard contracts to do. It's how much do you pay a good player that has played at a high level, right? So that's the key question. And so I think this is why it's harder to get done. Whereas I think Stafford, look, they were worried about his elbow 2 years ago, before we went into last year, and they proved to be healthy. But now, are they going to extend that contract? They guaranteed $90 million of it when they did that. Are they going to continue going down that road? I think that's the question they're trying to ask themselves. The Rams will be smart enough to figure it, but look, they put themselves in a cap situation with Stafford when they picked that option, when they picked up that guarantee. So the next quarterback deal is going to be the most interesting, and it won't be Dak, because I think there's no reason for Dak to sign a contract right now.
I appreciate that you brought Matthew Stafford's name into the quarterback contract situation, because he is not being talked about as a quarterback who is having a contract situation take place, especially if you see what's happening around him on that team out there. I would assume that, I don't want to say on the back nine, but yeah, he knows he is. He understands everything that's taking place. And with the contract situation, you got to do what you got to do. Matthew Stafford potentially being the next quarterback deal getting done would be a wild development. Excited to see where it is. And last question for me about the quarterback deals before the boys have questions about other shit happening around the NFL. How easy is it for a player to potentially take a deal that is less money than being the highest paid annually? Now, there's a full breakdown of Trevor Lawrence's contract that is taking place where I guess it isn't the $275 million or whatever it was expected to be, and the amount of money that was being projected by journalists to the public isn't not necessarily as accurate whenever it comes to the contract, because that was just conjecture as opposed to what was actually on paper and how it all works out. But I think when Andrew Luck was up for his contract, I thought he was potentially a guy because of how he operated. He wore T-shirts, shorts, he wore sandals, he rode his bike. He was just the most low maintenance dude of all time. It made no sense how low maintenance he was. Loved team, loved football, came from money. Obviously his dad has had a lot of success and a lot of things. Shout out to Oliver. And I thought whenever his contract came up, I'm maybe Andrew will be the first quarterback that'll understand that I don't need to get the biggest of all time. We could spread this money out. Maybe he can get protected a little bit more, and we can spend money around there. Like, we can do that. And I was quickly told by a lot of people who'd been in the NFL a lot longer than me, like, he wouldn't be even allowed to do that. Even if, and I'm like, who wouldn't let him do that? They're like, his agent obviously is going to push heavy against that, but also like the NFLPA, other quarterbacks, like future quarterbacks are going to like lay the guilt basically on thick, because if you're not the one that's pushing the boundaries, who will? Especially if you're the person for the good of the position, for the good of everything. As a former general manager who's had to negotiate these deals, is there ever going to be a guy that's going to be able to go on? Because like Tom Brady did it, I guess, and there's other guys that are able to do it. But in this modern world that we're in right now, do you think there will ever be a guy that takes a significant amount of money less than what he could make so they could spend it around and build full team?
It's really not about taking less. It's really about percentage of the cap, Pat. That's the most critical component of this. Last year, we witnessed for the first time since Steve Young, when the cap came into place, a player who had above 13% of the cap win a Super Bowl in Patrick Mahomes, and certainly he deserves it. But this year, as we enter into this season, just take, for example, the NFC East. Jalen Hurts is only going to be responsible for about 6.8% of the Eagles' cap, whereas Daniel Jones is responsible for 19% of the Giants' cap. That inadequacy is a problem, and that's where it affects your team. That's what hurts your structure. Whereas you see some of these deals, when you look at Trevor Lawrence's deal, it won't be till year 4 till that percentage of the cap goes up. And so for the player side, the player wants, you got to find out what the player wants. Do you want the average per year? Do you want the guarantee? What do you want? Both players would say, well, we want both. Well, okay. You can't have everything, right? This is not an ice cream store. You can't eat it all. So what are we going to give you? You're going to give you a certain percentage of that. But for the team, you've got to be smart enough to know that if we can do this contract like the Lions did with Goff, where they have low cap percentage for the next 2 to 3 years, you've got a chance to build your team around them. Look, everybody says we need a quarterback on a rookie contract. Okay. Other than Brock Purdy, what rookie, Mahomes took his team there, but it's few and far between. You're going to have a second contract with these guys.
Which leads me, and you talk about, do you want guarantee or average per year? And there's one particular agent that said, you got it. And there's one rookie contract quarterback that is coming up with said agent. Green Bay Packers, let's go to boots on the ground, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, Lombo. So what will the situation with Jordan Love be? Because obviously you're kind of only dealing with the second half of last year where he played so well, because the first half wasn't great. But going into those negotiations, like, will Brian Gutekunst just kind of understand, like, hey, I'm gonna have to fight tooth and nail here because David Mulugeta is representing Jordan Love, and even though it's only a half season worth of tape and like what he did, but where is he going to fall in? Because I just assume with Mulugeta being his agent that he's going to get the top. He's going to set the bar, and then whether Tua goes next or Dak or whoever is going to kind of fall in after that.
Well, I think that's the real issue, right? And so this is the hardest contract to do, because this is a little bit like buying on spec, right? It's almost like you're going to build a spec house and you got to sell it. David's going to argue that his players should be paid like the guys that have the money. Whereas the Packers, Russ Ball, who will do the contract, not Good, Russ Ball's going to argue that we'll pay on the come. We'll certainly pay a base level, but we want to see more of this player playing at the level. And they're going to have to find a way to meet in the middle, whether it's through incentives, whether it's through yearly build-up in terms of increasing the salary per year. But to turn around and just say after 8 games, I'm going to give you $55 million a year with 80% of it guaranteed, that's something that I'm sure the Packers don't want to enter into, because you've got to look at this. What happens if the 8 games were wrong? What happens if the fourth quarter of the 49er game ends up being the way he played? Look, I think he's played great. But you look at the first half of the season, they were protecting the team from him. In the second half of the season, he was winning games with them. So it's two different things. Remember, they went into New York and lost to Tommy DeVito and turned the ball over. Well, so it hasn't been just a rise. There hasn't been just a rise. So there's an argument on both sides. These are the hard contracts to do. The contracts that are easy to do is when there's no argument on one side. Like, there's an argument to be made here, and you've got to find a middle ground. And I think they have to. And this is why I think this one will be hard for them to do before the season kicks off. Maybe they can, but that's the one. Whereas the other ones, I mean, I think to me, it's going to come down to the Rams saying, "Yeah, we want to do something with you, Matthew. We definitely want to handle it." Look, Love's going to get paid. It's just how are they going to structure the contract? That's the issue.
What if it came down to just like a 2-year deal? You know, and obviously 4 or 5 year deals are what everybody does, but he's in an interesting situation, not because of his own doing. Obviously, he was drafted in, not because, the Packers are the one that put him in a situation where he was only able to play a little bit of football to prove what his worth was before his contract is up. What if it was like a shorter deal and it was like more, like 2 years, $100 million, $80 million guaranteed, $10 million each year in incentives that you can get up to 100, and then he's a free agent in 2 years from now with no franchise tag, or they can renegotiate that second year and get the long-term deal so they can get better eyes. Would that be a thought, or there's no way Mola lets that happen?
Well, it's to me, it's when you're guaranteeing money, you want years. So time equals money in all negotiations. So the more guarantee I give you, the more years I want back. And so if you're asking me to guarantee 80% of the deal and I'm only getting 2 years, why am I doing that? If I do a 2-year contract, I really don't, and I'm Jordan Love, you don't need to guarantee anything in writing because I'm going to earn it all. So that's what David's going to argue. You're not going to cut him after a year. He's too good of a player. So why won't you just guarantee everything? Okay, that makes sense. But now I've guaranteed, I only got 2 years on these guarantees. Let me have more years. And then you're talking about high cap numbers. Now we're talking about percentage of the cap going way up because we're only doing a 2-year contract. So it's a challenge. And I think Green Bay's smart enough to figure it out. Russ Ball's done a lot of contracts in his career. They've got the cap room. They certainly have the cash to pay this thing out. And I think that ultimately they'll do that.
Hey,
but they got to figure out what the right number is.
Lombo, no matter what the number is and how they figure it out, how about these sons of bitches figuring it out again at quarterback? How about it?
It's amazing, right?
Isn't it?
Like this throw he makes here against cover 2 where he reads it. It wasn't even like he didn't see it. He moved his feet. Watch him move his feet to the side to get away from the penetration and throw the ball. That's a rare thing to do. So his eye level's down, and then he throws the ball down the field, eye level down to eye level up, which is hard to see in players when you watch them. So, yeah, look, and I think you got to give credit to Matt LaFleur in the sense that he figured out what he needed to do. Now, I think the interesting thing about the Packers this year is they replaced Aaron Jones with Josh Jacobs. How is that actually going to work? I thought Aaron Jones was really a key to what they did the second half of the season. And you're going to get more of this stuff where he's going to run around like this. Now Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, I think that's the key hire. We don't talk enough about that. Who they hired as some of these assistant coaches are going to make a big difference for some of these teams as well.
Oh, yeah, you talk about new defense coordinator there. I completely forgotten. We don't talk about him as we pivot away from the Green Bay Packers, who certainly have a lot of decisions have to be made, and they seemingly get them right all the time. So, good. Hey, congrats over there. Now, Super Bowl, right, is what you're going to be judged against it all, but, phenomenal. And there's a lot of people, including myself, that were like, this is so stupid. Why are we doing it? Let's win the Super Bowl. We're here. We're at the NFC Championship. Let's win. How often do you get here? You don't get here, let's go ahead and win. And then they're like, let's prepare for 4 years from now. And we, obviously, in a day show, stupid idiots. These guys are stupid idiots. Yep. This is so dumb. And then now we're sitting here, well, how much money are they going to give the next guy that they prepared for 3.5 years to take over behind one of the greatest of all time in the whole entire sport, best ball thrower in the history of sport? It's wild. Congrats to them. You talk about the defense coordinator being hired there. I think is why Ty is actually excited going into this particular year. Let's talk about defense coordinator that was hired somewhere that we haven't chatted about at all. The only conversation about the Seattle Seahawks has really been obviously congrats Geno Smith, another year over there, more money, guaranteed doing his thing. They hired a new coach, McDonald, out of Baltimore, defense coordinator. They take down some of the Legion of Boom shit around the building. Now, obviously, you view that I don't like it because I think people should be reminded of what the success is. But some people say, hey, we're a new team, fresh start. We'll see if it works out. How do we think that's going to go with defensive-minded head coach getting hired once again, as opposed to an offensive-minded guy, which has seemingly been the trend?
Well, when you look at Seattle, Pat, the last 2 years, their defense has not played well. I think it's probably one of the things that drives Pete Carroll crazy because Pete Carroll's a defensive coordinator at heart, and he loves defensive football. But they couldn't stop the run. They're 20-13 at home in Seattle, and it's supposed to be a hard place to play. And Diggs will tell you, Pittsburgh went in there and put 400 yards on them in a game they had to win in Week 17, or else they would have gotten 10 wins and made the playoffs. But they couldn't stop them in the running game. They couldn't stop them from throwing the ball. McDonald will fix their defensive issues. This team won 9 games last year. This team had a lot of injuries, right? They had to bring Jason Peters off the street, a 40-year-old tackle, to play tackle because Abraham and Cross both got hurt for them. So I think this is a really good team. I think Kenneth Walker will be a really good player for them. He's a really good running back. He played 15 games last year. If he can stay healthy, they've got good receivers. And Jigba, they say, has had a great camp like most people do without pads on. But they've got 3 legitimate receivers, right? They've got 3 legitimate receivers. If that offensive line comes together, and I think if Geno protects, this has got a chance to be a good team. Defensively, they get Murphy in the draft, which is key for them. And if they can stop the run and get that crowd back in Seattle to turn in their favor, they won 9 games last year. And I think they have a chance to be competitive in the West.
How about that division? Just Niners.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just think that's like it's hard not to, because they just continue to get stronger and stronger seemingly every single year, and they're a wagon, and it's the West Coast to East Coast bias. We all completely understand that, but the Seahawks making a lot of moves, having a lot of success. Remember, it's like every year we'll be presented some stat, and it's like, damn, Seattle Seahawks are playing a lot better than we could have imagined. This year, fire coach, new situation, new everything, and it's like, are they going to get a game or two better? And if they get a game or two better, they're double-digit wins, they're in the playoffs, all of a sudden everything's dancing, let alone if they somehow find a way to get a home playoff game.
Yeah.
If they could bring the magic of that stadium back, it could be beautiful. But let's stay in that division, because there's big dispute going on publicly in San Fran. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Michael, there was a quote that I saw the other day, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but it said that the 49ers are trying to pay Aiyuk like a wide receiver 2, but trade him as if he was a wide receiver 1 as far as the asking price. How does that work as a GM? Is that always status quo as far as paying versus trading a guy? And what's your thoughts on the Aiyuk situation in San Francisco now, as Aiyuk's come out a couple times and kind of made his voice be heard?
Well, I think it's completely erroneous to say that the Niners don't want Aiyuk. I mean, I know he's been said that into somebody on the air. Look, he's an outside receiver, somebody that they need, and they need in their offense. But when he made that statement, what I think he's really saying is they don't want to do my deal, right? They don't want to do the deal that I want. And this receiver market has gotten just crazy, right? And so I don't know who is I know Tyreek Hill's the number 1 receiver. I know Justin Jefferson's the number 1 receiver. Devontae Adams is waiting for the Raiders to come back and redo his deal. He's he's not up, but he's like sitting there saying, "Wait a minute, hold on." He wasn't in any offseason program all year. Now he went to the mandatory minicamp, but I think he's waiting for that phone to ring and say, "Okay, we're going to come back," because this receiver market's crazy. And so I don't know what a number 1 receiver is. I know the 2 that got paid this year, Hill and Jefferson, deserve it. Certainly Hill does, because he scares the hell out of everybody, and so does Jefferson. So I think, to me, this is about we just can't agree on the right number. And I think they want to keep him. I think they definitely want to keep Aiyuk, because he is the one receiver on that team that on third down can line up on the outside and win a one-on-one route. See, Debo's a really good player. He's a really good player, but Debo is a move receiver who wants to catch the ball in the middle of the field, and then he's a dynamic running back when he gets the ball in his hands. But there's got to be a lot of work done by Kyle Shanahan and the offensive staff to make sure that Debo gets the ball where he needs to get it. Whereas Aiyuk can go out and win one-on-one. We got press coverage. Steve Spagnuolo's bringing a blitz. Okay, we're going to win against Snead out on the outside. There we go. Is that a number 1 receiver? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I think, to me, they need Aiyuk.
Yeah, and Aiyuk has made incredible plays. And every team, as soon as they heard Aiyuk was potentially available, the fan base just said, we'll take Aiyuk. Yeah, we will take Aiyuk. But what's the price for Brandon Aiyuk? I feel like that's probably the entire conversation piece. And they got him for 3 years if they want him in San Francisco, because they can franchise tag him twice still. So it's like, this is the Lamar Jackson situation, when like Baltimore had all the cards, and it's the difference between the NBA and the NFL. The NFL seemingly stays put. Now, Lamar Jackson, if he would have wanted to, he would have been able to utilize leverage to get out of the situation. But like, I know it's his last year of his contract he's going into, but they can franchise tag him one time, and then they can franchise tag him again. So that's 3 years worth of a contract right now. That is, I don't think, very normal in the NBA world, but in the NFL world, very much a trump card in the back pocket for every single NFL team. It's a wild situation. You also want to talk about a wild situation, Lombo? You know what else is a wild situation?
Yeah.
USA lost to Japan in American football. Did you see that?
I don't even understand how that is possible. I don't even understand how that is. I got to go back and research it. I have no idea. I saw a highlight of some kid they couldn't tackle, and I'm like, who the hell is this running down the field? Like, we got beat 41-20. Are you kidding? This is a play I saw on Twitter today.
69 or 63.
I mean, we got to. I mean, look, somebody's got to explain this to me. Like, where did this happen, and who did we send over there?
No, it's in
like, what
Canada.
players do we send over?
So here's the setup. Here's the because we asked a lot of these questions as well because we're like, excuse me, and we'll be having Jordan Poyer join us in the next hour. He's a former member of this team.
Oh, really?
I believe Jonathan Taylor also formerly on this team. I think it was
Mac Jones, Chase Young,
Todd Gurley.
We're talking about a pretty good alumni, and then all of a sudden, the first time I see them playing football, they're getting their asses beat by Japan in an American football tournament.
We tackle.
We named the game.
There's just grab tackling. I mean, this is horrible. What are we doing here?
And we don't need to just judge every player that's on the field, but where the fuck is Caleb Dahn? This is like where we are. This is under 20, and if this matters, I would like to know why we don't have our guys playing. Could you fathom if we put together the actual under 20 team with the all-stars around college football right now with the way think about our wide receivers we have
200-0.
Oh my God. But for some reason that is not who our team is. I don't know if you're not allowed to be paid. I don't know if there's the NIL is affecting this is why guys aren't, but we can't be losing in an American football tournament as the United States. To anybody.
Did we just fumble in the 1 yard line?
Yeah,
sure did.
That was a touchdown from
situational football awareness.
I mean, we need Lou Holtz over there. We got to get Lou over there and get him straightened out.
Yeah, Lou would want America to win. Yeah, he would.
Always has.
Listen, Japan's been pissing us since 1944, okay? So maybe we had this one coming, all right? I don't know who the goddamn head coach is. Maybe I need to, dust off my loafers and get in that locker room. I can guarantee we compete more. 3 touchdowns. We're getting beat by 21 points to Japan. Jesus Christ. The greatest generation didn't go over there and do what they did in Okinawa for us to get. And why the hell is this game being played in Edmonton?
I think that's where the tournament is.
I have no idea either.
It
was in Calgary. Jesus Christ, played in the United States of America. This is American football. Maybe that's why we lost. I don't know.
Maybe because it was on foreign soil. I don't know, but the CFL does exist. It was great to hear from Coach Lou Holtz. I believe he has a podcast now, so congrats on the pod.
Today.
Yeah, congrats on the pod, Coach.
I love it.
Anyways, Lombo, that can't be happening.
Yes, sir.
And everybody.
No, it can't be. That's embarrassing. We can't have that. We can't allow that. I mean, we invented the game. I mean, how the hell can we get beat at a game we invented? I mean, even on the touchdown throw, they blow the protection on the touchdown, and we still can't make a play on it. I mean, like, really, what are we doing here? Like, look, I mean, what are we doing?
I think what we're saying is USA football, which I believe I'm learning this all in the last 24 hours.
What are we doing?
Its home is here in Indianapolis. It's like, hey, we can get some speakers in here. We can get some football minds to travel in and talk to the team.
Easily.
Maybe learn some game here, do the whole thing. Because I think the players have to pay a fee. I think they have to pay a fee to kind of get into this thing. And it's like, they're representing the United States of America. And we got football minds like Lombo that I'm sure if you called and asked, like, hey, will you come speak to the United States of America football team? It's like, I watched some of their film. They don't know shit about fuck.
The MVP's last name was Kobayashi. I don't know if it's Kobayashi's kid or not, but
Joey Jaws needs to make sure that this shit ain't happening.
Kobayashi, is that from the? Wow, is that from that movie? I mean, geez, oh man, wasn't that Kobayashi in that movie?
I'm sure.
No, you're thinking of Kimo Sabe, I think.
No. There was the Usual Suspects. Check it out.
Right.
Kobayashi was the name of the guy. Yes,
it is.
The Usual Suspect.
We'll look into it. That's a great pull by you. And Kobayashi also hot dog eater extraordinaire. And he and Joey Jaws are battling on Netflix, I believe.
Look at this tackling. This is atrocious. This is so bad.
Angle. I mean, let's take it off. I can't. Take it off.
What is that?
Take it off.
It's horrible.
Take it off the screen. Take it off the screen.
Fire the coach.
Belichick should have been.
Got to remember.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. He'll go talk to the team.
Yeah.
Get in
Michael
there,
Lombardi.
I
can't be happening.
Never again.
Especially on the day where we're talking him losing basketball to Lithuania.
Yeah, exactly.
And then our football team goes out and loses American football to Japan.
With the Olympics coming up.
What are we doing? Hey, we need to start representing so we can be obnoxious. Hour 2 is on the other side. More where that came from.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's
Dan. Another farting Dan Orlovsky situation just took place.
Danny Dumps.
What do you mean? It's unbelievable.
Your butt was just talking. Okay.
I did not fart.
Dan. This is 2 times now, Dan. This is the Orlovsky thing.
You guys be serious right now, or are you messing with me?
Dan, listen to this clip. This is you just moments ago.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's
Dan.
I mean, undeniable.
You guys definitely just freaking idiots.
Dan, we swear.
You guys 1,000%
No, we swear. We swear.
No way.
No one did that, Dan.
That was cartoons.
What did you eat?
I haven't even ate two guys.
Hey, if I were you right now, I'd go grab some food.
My wife texted me. She said, "Oh my gosh, McAfee Show, I'm dead." I go, "Babe, I promise you on everything, I did not fart."
Who runs your Twitter account?
AB.
I do.
What's this all about? I would like to know, in that situation where your butthole started talking, what did I do?
I'm here to be serious with you, man.
What are you, chucking a glass of milk, eating some fruit over there, get you some coffee, get that butthole a little bit more active?
I haven't ate. I'm eating yogurt. I have 1,000 text messages right now of people going, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, I just wanted to have like a quiet Tuesday.
I don't even know why we're going to have another hour. Maybe we run that clip.
Yeah. On loop.
We have the video. Shams, let's let you judge here.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
I need to hear the context. I want to give our guys...
Oh, Shams, shut up! He said it sounded like a fart.
What did AJ vote?
It's a fart all day long, Kirk. You know that.
Has anybody voted no?
Dan.
I'll be the captain of Team No today.
We need you to do a tie-breaking vote. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me. It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
There's no doubt. I mean, I like how he just kept on going right there.
When he was talking, he didn't even break stride as that thing came out. He went and got the buggy, went to the store, grabbed some dude wipes to wipe those ass cheeks, just like I assume you do as well, Kabul.
You have to go dry, wet, dry. Toilet paper, white toilet paper. If not, you're really risking the rest of the day having the swamp ass. You know, Dan Orlovsky, man, he got to accept that, man. He got to wear that with a pride. One thing that really bothers me when people do not take credit for it. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, that was you that farted," I get upset when it wasn't me. I'm like, no, when have I ever not claimed it when it was mine? You should claim it.
But all those airports, people are traveling today, looking up at the ESPN. Dan Orlovsky farts. What's wrong with this guy?
The closed captioning person, whoever it is, they got it. I believe it said inaudible, muffled, and it said Dan fart.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Don't Look Now, there's been a French invasion Thursday, June 27, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts, and now...
Sports
are awesome. We're lucky to talk about them every single day. Obviously, the Stanley Cup winners, the Florida Panthers, are still celebrating with Lordo. We will keep track of that later in this hour. The NBA is in the middle of its draft, and I shake my head, not because I think these people are bad people. I just shake my head because it does appear as if the United States, who lost to Lithuania in basketball this past summer, is no longer 3 Frenchmen drafted in the top 10. Love France.
Of course.
Bonjour, ça va. Merci beaucoup pour everything. Okay, so just know that. But with the football team losing to Japan,
well,
the football team lost to Japan, okay, by 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all France in top 10 of the NBA draft.
Was that one guy right? It was a TV show, popular actor, and the woman in the crowd was like, "America's the greatest country on earth."
He led the show with
newsroom.
that. That guy from Dumb and Dumber.
That's right.
Wasn't dumb at all in that answer.
No, he wasn't.
Gave an entire thing. With the Olympics around the corner right now,
Yeah.
we need to figure it out. Round 2 of the NBA draft, we're going to have a big night.
Huge.
We're going to win. Okay, round 2.
We need some American thoroughbreds taking tonight.
And that American football team up there in Canada that just embarrassed our entire country against Japan. Listen, they got some more games, okay? I think Canada's up there, Austria's up there. They play a bunch of these games.
That's bullshit. Cancel them.
Canada dog walked Japan as well.
They're not allowed to play anymore. Cancel it.
This wasn't even like the final?
This was semifinal.
Oh, no, so it's over for us.
That was the semis? We got beat by 3 touchdowns in the semifinals?
Yeah, but you should have seen what we did in the quarterfinals, in the pre-quarterfinals, dude. We were running, you remember Hot Dog they ran?
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs ran Hot Dog?
Yep.
Yeah, corn dogs,
Jackie.
Yep.
Ran it. Perfect. We ran the annexation of Puerto Rico.
I did the Wasp play.
We did the whole Wasp. Quarterback sprinted backwards. We used all of our plays in the quarterfinal, which is why we got embarrassed by Japan in the semifinal. I would wonder, and this is not for me to judge the country of Japan, there's a lot of military bases in Japan. I do wonder, what is Japan a place maybe that some of these teams need to start looking for maybe some offensive linemen if they were able to run?
No.
I'm piecing things together right now.
There it is.
Micah Parsons. What did he do this offseason?
Sure.
He ran into some sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, I went ahead with him. Look at that guy. We got the biggest son of the bitch on the field in 79.
I mean, he didn't touch a soul.
Look at that guy. That guy is a monster.
He didn't touch a soul.
Yeah, we could run that play
right guard.
back.
Right guard didn't touch a soul.
He doesn't see. He doesn't see.
What are we doing?
He doesn't see anything.
Anyways, we need to start winning. Tonight, we start in the NBA round 2 of the draft.
That's right.
This is where all the champions are drafted anyways.
Bingo, like Jokic.
Are we even watching film?
Not Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor at Ty Schmidt. Boston won the NBA championship.
Of course.
South Florida, Sunrise, Florida won the NHL Stanley Cup. So sorry about it, rest of the world.
Yeah, you tell me.
We're world champions. How about that whole conversation too? You're not world champions. You won your league.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah, but that started creeping back in again for the NBA and the NHL. So that's why, even more so, we need the Olympics right around the corner.
Exactly.
We need this.
Big time.
They had 3 of the top 10. What about the other 7, huh? Who had the other 7? Was that us?
There was a Canada, because they were announcing countries in which people were from.
Zach Edey is Canadian.
Son of a
top
bitch.
10.
So we got 6 now. We got 6. We got
Still the most. Still the most.
Okay.
You still
USA. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Now 1 and 2 being from.
Yeah, not great.
That's tough.
One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys tone. Diggs is here at Baby Tone. I wish we could have bet on maybe which country will produce the first 2 draft picks in the NBA. Maybe next year's. Maybe the 2031 draft we could potentially talk about, because it was talked about last night in a trade between the Spurs and the Wolves. What a wild night for the NBA. We'll obviously chit-chat about it throughout the rest of the hour with great guests coming on. Jordan Poyer will be joining us, Joe Poe, All-Pro Poe, newest member of Miami Dolphins.
Dog.
He is an absolute dog. Obviously became All-Pro Poe with his time with the Buffalo Bills, friend of the program. He's on this Team USA alumni. He was on this Team USA before. So we're going to ask him how the hell this happens.
Yeah.
And we need some answers stat.
Yeah, right now.
Because a lot of people are wondering, have we lost our fastball completely? And we haven't. We can't.
No.
Ratings for all of our leagues are through the roof. Sports are through the roof. Our soccer team's playing Panama tonight. We'll talk to Michael Grella, Talafella Grella, later in the hour. Need to win.
Need to
win. Joining us now.
More than ever.
Is a man who's thinking about going and lying about on his birth certificate to play for that Team USA next time there's one of these little international tournaments.
Yep.
He's a college football national champion and Super Bowl champion. Should probably wait a little while, so we can lie about his age so he can play in this next one. So America doesn't get beat by 3 touchdowns.
3
against Japan. AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
You look 19. You look 19.
Stop showing it now. I do not look or feel 19, but I stop showing it, man. Just the pursuit angles, leverage,
block,
everything
though.
is just brutal on that. I mean, and then you turn. Come on now, we can't turn the ball over right here. We know we can't do that.
Yeah, we need quarterback sneak, maybe get a couple of yards, especially if we're seeing the way the offensive line is moving. Maybe we need to make better decisions at this entire thing. I guess the head coach is a D3 college football coach. I'm assuming there's a lot of D3 guys on this particular team. And I I don't know.
No, but like then why don't we just send IMG? Like why isn't IMG Academy our under 20 USA team?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, was there a little bamboozling going on to get on this team?
For shoot.
How come? Because this. What's that?
It's got to be politics.
Classic politics.
Politics involved.
It's a great point. If we don't hear,
it's not about how good you are. It's how good the person is that you know.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the problem in a lot.
Getting no push.
Whatever president brings up, this never happening tonight again. That's who my vote goes to. Whichever president say, hey, look, I saw something last night, and it was the fact that Team USA under 20 lost by 21 to Japan in Canada in American football.
That can't be happening.
Whoever says that, I don't care if it's Joe or Don, they get my vote.
All right, so there's a lot on the line here. Obviously, one man's vote.
And fraud and alien.
And mine matters, by the way. I got a big vote, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I do look at some people, and I think to myself, their vote is just as good as mine. So that's great.
Yeah.
And some people look at me like that. So, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the United States of America, which needs some dubs.
Yeah, need it.
We need some dubs. Joining us now is a person who can maybe tell us how the hell this happened. Okay? Friend of the program, All-Pro Poe, member of the Miami Dolphins, Jordan Poyer.
Yeah! What's up, man? How we doing?
Hey, we're fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. You look amazing. Doesn't he look good?
He does.
Great.
You
Glowing.
look good.
Great shirt.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Hey, we don't want to eat up too much of your time, okay? AJ is disgusted by this. He said, stop showing it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to run it one more time so that you can see it. Maybe the rest of the world can see it so this never happens to us again. This is Team USA in the semifinals of this American football tournament happening up in Canada. And we lose by 3 touchdowns to Japan. We didn't even know this team existed, Jordan. So then we looked into the team a little bit. They're housed here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I had no idea that was the case. You were on the team. You're not the only one, though. There's many others that we know. Jonathan Taylor was on this team.
Mm-hmm. Mac Jones, Chase Young was on this team. Kenny Pickett was on this team.
Kenny?
Yeah, and you were on this team. How the hell are we losing to Japan by 3 touchdowns? And how did you know this team existed? What is this thing? How is it? And look at this, Jordan. That's America.
Tackle somebody.
Can't happen. It just cannot happen.
Agreed.
Yeah, I played in this back in, I think, 2010. I actually played with that's crazy. Brought back some memories for sure. And when we played, we smacked everybody by 20 points, as we were supposed to. It's an American sport. So kind of fascinating that they were actually down 20-0 at one point in the game. Just seemed like they were playing some bad ball, but definitely can't happen. But it was a really cool experience being out there. At the time, we were in Ohio at the Hall of Fame. We played at the Hall of Fame Stadium, so it was a pretty cool experience. Played with a teammate of mine, Kevin Cummings. He went to Oregon State at the time. We both went to Oregon State together. We met out there. So
how'd you hear about it? How'd you hear about it? When you were at Oregon State, they told you?
I got invited. So it's like an invitation that they send. Call it the top whatever athletes in at the time in high school. And David Wilson was on my team. I don't know if you guys remember the running back from the Giants.
Yeah,
he was on my team. I can't remember a whole lot of other guys that were on my team. But yeah, we had a really solid team, and it was a really cool experience to be out there. But those boys can't be losing like that, man. That's bad ball. That's bad ball.
How long do you practice? Like, how long did you guys practice leading up to all that?
It was about a week. We were out there. We were out there probably 2 weeks, and we practiced for a week. I mean, like your normal practices, one-on-ones.
These Japan boys been doing it for years together. I mean, we don't have a chance.
Hey, okay, so we had no team chemistry. We got to get the boys together a little bit longer.
Japan kids been together 7 years, I heard. Those kids started playing together.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, of course. That's what we heard.
Definitely right.
That's what we heard. Yeah, that's definitely.
Even know the plays.
It's ball, yo. Like, go out there and play football. Boys didn't even look like they knew what they were doing out there.
That's so who's doing the inviting? Because obviously Ty let a word rear its head into this conversation about how the players are chosen and how it goes about. You know, the word politics kind of comes into it. And politics is seemingly, who you know as opposed to what your skill level is. And that's across the board. We would like to let everybody in every party know that was a shot at everybody.
That's right.
Okay, just from the sports looking into your world. I don't pay attention enough about your world. But like over here, we actually decide who winners and losers are, who's right, who's not. We have legacies and track records because they're on the record and they're actually competing. So all that type of stuff is real. But like, who invited you? Because we have to question who invited the team, who selected the team, and we need to make sure
I remember. Yeah, I don't know. I remember Coach Riley, my coach at Oregon State at the time. They essentially the team that you commit to, they'll get the letter saying, "Hey, Jordan Poyer got invited to come play for Team USA." In I think it was late July. Oh yeah, it was probably around this time actually. And so I mean, Coach Riley called me. He was like, "Hey, you got an invite to go play for Team USA." I was like, "Yeah, let's do it," and that's how that process works.
Well, we appreciate you representing the United States. Okay? And we need to get back to the dream team.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to get back to the dream team in this U.S. football thing. Enjoy the rest of your offseason. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I'm out here in Costa Rica right now, enjoying the life at residence, man. Got my beautiful people out here. And documentary coming out soon. Aiyuk documentary coming out real soon. Shout out to my guy Irvin. Shout out to all the team.
Wait, are you in it? You're in the doc, or there's a random doc?
Absolutely. Me, my A-Rod, my mom, my brother. It's an Aiyuk doc we're putting together, and it's going to be really powerful. Can't wait for you guys to see it.
Hell yeah. Cannot wait to see it. And once again, I don't think anybody who's ever talked about ayahuasca has ever said that it's for everybody, but there are certainly people that could potentially utilize it. And I believe that is probably what you guys are going to put on display in the doc. I would assume that's the case.
Bringing awareness to the world.
Yeah, military folks have been, talking about it for a while. Like,
Long time.
Hey, PTSD, there's only been really one thing that has been able to work. They've pumped a lot of pills, through this entire process, but there's been something that has helped a lot of people. I'm happy you're experiencing it again and can't wait to watch the doc. And let's get Team USA back to its greatness, please.
Back to its greatness. Come on now.
You're the best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, All-Pro Jordan Poyer.
Yeah.
So, boom, middle of conversation. It hits me. Bill Belichick's the coach of Team USA, right?
Should be.
Oh. He's not doing anything else.
I mean, also, did they invite just the best Madden players in the country?
I didn't even think about they never actually played.
Maybe they tested hey,
who's the GM of this thing?
This year, let's just invite all the best Twitch streamers that play Madden, and let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. What if the Zoom call, because of AI, was just AI highlights?
Yeah.
Because I think, pull up the website. The website has a 5-step process to make the team. And one of them is you submit highlights via an email, I think, or a link or something.
Huddle, yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it is. So I've heard stories of guys back in the day, and I'm assuming you did as well, of, I think John Dorenbos told the story. I don't know if it's John Dorenbos. We love John Dorenbos, incredible magician, great long snapper for a very long time. He actually sent his highlights in back in the day whenever it was so blurry. He just circled a different person.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just circled a different person. Me. That's me right there. That's me right there. I think that happened a lot. Maybe AI is getting involved in this entire thing because, look, digital combine there.
Boom.
Submit your information, measurables, and highlight to the GMTM digital combine. Okay, so it's digital. USA football personnel will invite athletes to the team covering benefits, expectations, and team logistics like athlete membership and participant fees. Okay, so participant fees is you got to pay for this, right?
Yes.
All right. Virtual development. Athletes get virtual and on-demand access to X's and O's. Great app. Obviously, a lot of people watch film through there. Technical training, mental performance, strength and conditioning, nutrition and hydration, and more. So they got it all. They got it all. I don't know what more is, but there is more.
Why would anybody play in this if you have to pay and all? What are we doing?
Well, represent the country.
USA.
Is this the Olympics? Are they going to put football in the Olympics?
Well,
Is this are they trying to kind of soften us so then they'll put this in the Olympics eventually?
The U.S. national team arrives in Edmonton, Canada to prepare for the competition from June 14th through the 19th. And then the U.S. national team steps on the gridiron. I love that is certainly a word that is tossed around in that league or in these things. It's the gridiron.
Hell yeah.
To compete against Canada, Japan, Austria, Australia, Panama, and Brazil. Our mission is gold. Well, no shit.
It was gold.
I don't like this one bit.
Sucks.
Especially with AI.
Yeah.
And these American kids are going to utilize it however they can. They have a guy making, I bet you somebody submitted Odell Beckham Jr.'s catch.
Yeah.
This one. That's me.
It's good.
That's me.
Or, I mean,
Then he comes out, he's got the Justin Jefferson catch. in Buffalo or whatever. Where he stands. They're like, get this guy on Team USA.
You can submit your own measurables. How many of these kids you think were like, I'm 6'5", 265, and they're like, done, you're on the team, and they show up and he's 5'8", and it's like, well, shit, I guess he's already on the team.
We have breaking news.
What?
We have breaking news
regarding the USA team.
Wait till you hear. Oh my God!
What happened?
D-Bone.
Oh my God!
D-Bone, our new graphic designer, Derek is his name, Derek Murphy. Phenomenal graphic designer. We're talking about, he's a football stooge though, who just picked up graphic designing during COVID. So like the way he operates and everything, he's the D3 offensive lineman. Okay, we've talked about D3 offensive linemen over the last month or so because like those are the folks who have to love football more than anybody. Okay, they are the ones who normally go on to coach. They're washing their own pads in their own clothes to put that shit on and run their head into somebody so that they can play in a game that will certainly matter. Certainly matter. Certainly it'll certainly matter. But they just want to continue to play football, organized football, team ball. That's all they want to be a part of. D-Bone just sent he was invited to play on Team USA here, and we love D-Bone. And we think D-Bone will probably be great in the locker room.
Yeah.
But was there not an Alabama offensive lineman that was offered sometime?
I'm boycotting USA football.
That couldn't have got an invite to this damn thing? Was Nick Saban just shredding all these letters? Or Georgia? Imagine a couple Kirby Smart Georgia dogs on this team. They do Blood Tuesdays or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Bloody Tuesdays. Not 9 through 11th grade. There's kids getting offers in 8th, 9th grade.
Oh, no.
D-Bone?
Yeah, they're not going to play in this. They're college coaches. If you're Kirby Smart, you want your guys playing in this in a full contact game against all these guys before you show up?
You tell me, Kirby. Kirby, do you want to open your phone and watch Team USA get beat by Japan by 3 touchdowns in our fucking sport? I don't think Kirby wants to see that.
Yeah, no way.
I don't think Kirby wants
you
not
can't
one
make
bit.
the kids pay. You can't make them. You can't charge them. There can't be fees. If you're getting invited to Team USA, you should not have to pay your own way.
D-Bone, congrats on getting invited. Obviously, it's probably
D-Bone.
I found
a great day for him.
I didn't get
found
invited.
the GM. It's not good.
Who is it?
It's not good.
Oh no.
Who is it? Don't say it.
Pittsburgh.
No
way.
Say
Billy Gardell.
Springdale.
Sean Leota.
Guys coaching at Burrow right now.
High school?
Yep.
He's the GM?
Yep.
This guy's running USA football.
Oh, scroll down. Are there any other?
What's your problem with Mr. Leota?
What's the problem? Yeah.
What's your problem with Mr. Leota, Ty?
Oh, what is that? Des Plaines, Illinois.
That's my problem. Is Randy Walters needs to be the head coach.
Who are these guys?
His hometown's Canada. What? We got a hometown of Canada.
William looks like an absolute mastermind with those glasses.
Jim Phillips lives in the trenches, though.
I am so bummed out about it all.
PJ Jack kind of looks like Vince Young, so I'm okay with that.
PJ spells his name better than any PJ in the fucking history of PJ.
That is awesome.
PJ stays, okay, no matter what happens.
Yeah, bingo.
I mean, we got to have a conversation with Myron Bluford because if we're giving up 41 points and you're the DC, I mean, that tackling's on you.
Yeah, well, let's not get crazy because offensive coordinator, too, Manny Matsakis there. What's he doing? He knew that our guys couldn't block. We're on the half-inch line.
Man.
We quarterback sneak that thing. With Jason Kell, we try to get at least a half yard to give the boys a little breathing room.
Joe Judge, I mean, take your advice from some NFL guys, maybe.
You know who else is a Springdale guy who lives in Springdale?
Who?
Joey Hadley.
The best window cleaner in Pittsburgh.
He should be coaching.
Wait, hold on. The all-time leader in sacks in Palm High School history?
Yeah.
Bingo. But when it happened, he wasn't able to actually celebrate it because there was a little fudging of the numbers potentially.
Oh, is that right?
Well, allegedly, that was being alleged.
Later proven?
That potentially, he was completely screwed. By his own.
So he has an axe to grind, too.
Well, no, he got a good celebration in. Now, granted, his entire attitude about life could have potentially changed in that moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now we all
football after that.
We all get to experience what it is now. He should have been on this team. And if he would have had the Plum High School sacks record when he actually got it, he might have been invited. And I'll tell you what, that potentially changes his course. Not only Haddlebags' life. Windows in Pittsburgh are certainly going to be much dirtier.
Sure.
But Team USA might be an actual wagon because Hadley would still be coaching a team.
Yeah.
You see Sean Leota there from Springdale?
Yeah.
There'd be a different Springdale resident named Joe Haddlebags that would have been coaching his team, and they ain't never losing to Japan by 3 touchdowns.
No.
Think about how many football people are in Pittsburgh. Just think about it. Now, Italian, mostly all of them, football people. And Sean Leota, Burrow's head coach, is tasked with building Team USA. And we got guys like D-Bone getting invites over people that are going to Georgia. No offense, D-Bone.
Yeah.
But this is America. This is bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
I mean,
what the fuck is going on with national team football here? I don't like it at all.
Not to bring up Ty's point about politics, but it looks like they gave, Ray Liotta and Jim Kelly's brother.
What? You pop that back up.
They gave them the reins. It's Ray Liotta's son and Jim Kelly's younger brother. And they just said, you know what? You guys got great last names. Good luck.
And Burrow was 11-1 this year. He led them to a great record.
He's a great coach. They got him in he's a suit. Yeah. He's not a suit. He's from Springdale, Pennsylvania. He's not a suit.
It's bullshit.
Do other countries play contact football? Like, do they have full contact football in other countries?
You think this is the first time if this is the first time?
It might be. They can only practice against each other. They don't. I guarantee you there's not a whole bunch of teams these guys can go scrimmage before they get there.
Yeah, you're telling me Panama is rolling around 11-on-11? There's just no way.
Yeah.
So whenever I did the USO trip to Japan, a couple of different bases have like a family recreational center, which is like really nice. It is like very, very cool. They had like basketball courts. Some had like obviously gyms and stuff like that.
Like a massive YMCA.
Yeah, not massive, but like
enough.
Like somebody, and then a couple of them had football fields, like in turf on the outside. If my memory serves me accurately, and it was like a lot of the base kids play football. Like that is like a big deal. Like when we went over there on the USO tour, I would say 15% of the people knew who the hell we were, okay? Everything else was like a piece of America was here. Like that's because Japan is like polar opposite of, they were very kind to us, very nice to us, but I'm just talking about the way they go about living life on a day-to-day versus how like America is in most places. It is a culture. When they say like culture shock, I could assume it was a culture shock for a lot of these military families who were based over there for years and years and years. So like us going over there was just like some sort of America. I do wonder if there is like base, because there's a lot of military bases in Japan.
That'd be Americans though. Those are Americans that are living there.
But would they be okay to play?
Is that who beat us? Was that the Japanese team?
When I was looking at
military kids.
When I was looking at the box score and the highlights and reading through the article, they were all Japanese last names.
So I'm wondering if they potentially do play
there,
right at like the
against the base kids.
We know who the reigning champs are.
Like maybe Japan is like
the power
historic wagon in the international football.
Like
whatever.
No.
D-Butt would be a good person to ask about this because he wasn't born on the military base in Germany.
Yes.
So would that be a situation?
Is this his fault?
Well, they said Brazil, right? And remember when we were licensing our show through DAZN, whenever DAZN was trying to launch like into the daily sports coverage and like updating the app, Brazil was a massive NFL hub. Yeah. Massive, which is why games go down.
Yeah, right. Germany as well. I think Germany, they said too.
Yeah, Germany, I think Spain, Italy, Spain, I forget which one. One or the other.
But how many of them are they actually playing football though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and how much availability to football is there? Like,
yeah, like even here in America, there's a lot of people went to small high school to play like 7-on-7. They didn't even have full go 11-on-11 football in America.
That was when I was playing soccer as a teenager in Europe a few times. When you're walking through like neighborhood, instead of basketball courts, it was soccer fields, like little soccer fields, and like even like goals painted on like walls. Like on either side, and it's just like a futsal basic field there. It was like, man, that would be much easier to play soccer if that was how it was.
Growing up,
like if that's how it was.
Yeah.
For us, like football, pretty easy to find. If you want to play it in America, no matter where you're from, we got people, I think, playing professional football from towns of like 20 people.
Yeah, well, the dude who just retired from the Cowboys, Leighton Vander Esch, he played 7-on-7 football in high school.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah,
he had a cafegimatorium at his high school.
Yeah,
like that, and it was counties that were coming to this entire thing. So you can find football, which makes it even worse that we're losing these damn games. We can't be losing by 3 touchdowns. Is Canada good at this? Is that what?
No.
I heard Gumpy.
The reigning champions about to go back to back.
Who?
Canada.
I mean, you did not. You must have missed those highlights, brother, because the Japanese got some guys.
We already beat them, brother.
What do you
We
mean?
beat them again.
No, what? You didn't beat this, Japanese.
Oh, yeah, we did.
They figured it out, though, after they
Let's hope
lost
they
to you
did.
guys.
This whole deal's getting shut down because USA football's a fucking Ponzi scheme. They're sending out letters saying, hey, D-Bone, for the small price of 3 installments of $1,500, you can come and slap that USA on your helmet and go represent America. Sure, we got shitty uniforms and we're going to get beat by 5 touchdowns to whatever country we play, but you got 4,500 extra bucks floating around? Come be on Team USA. That's a problem.
I don't like it.
No, me neither.
It
Not
is.
one bit.
Crock of shit. First, it's the French takeover, and now we have
French invasion.
Excuse me, and now we have the Japanese football team beating the piss out of us in American
I'm
football.
telling you, it's getting bad. In the Olympics, so close.
I'm worried.
Bad omen.
I'm worried
Should
about the
be.
Olympics.
We'll be fine.
Like we were saying today, do we
calling
have
Phelps.
the beach volleyball locked
Calling
down?
Phelps. I'm calling Phelps.
Yeah,
I'm
we
calling
got
Phelps. See if
what's
he
his
answers.
name?
Phil Dahlhauser still playing.
Phil Dahlhauser and his
making
partner.
sure. What's
Yeah,
right?
because on the beach we do
Chemist,
have a
excuse
good
me.
volleyball team.
Chemist.
Just making sure. Yeah, AJ, beach volleyball. Everyone knows.
Same with women's. We still have the 2.
I know. I'm saying,
Misty
do we
Mediterranean
dominate in beach volleyball?
Always
Yeah.
have.
Always
Always
have.
will.
Always will.
Where you been, brother?
Phelps.
We've been.
Hey, we're live. We are live. We are live.
I figured that. What's up, buddy?
Thank you for answering, Mr. Phelps. Listen, we're going through it over here. Okay, we are going through it over here. I don't know if you know this, but the French basically took over the NBA draft last night, first round. Okay, just took it over. All right. Then I learned yesterday from Tyrese Halliburton, we lost to Lithuania in basketball last summer, okay? And then just yesterday, Phelps, listen, this is going to be a mind blower. We've been on it for 25 minutes now. We are flustered by this. The United States of America American football team lost by 21 to Japan, okay? Our American football team lost to Japan by 21. Phelps, yes, I'm mind blown as well. We need to know, as a country, as a society, our swim team's good at this Olympics, right? Like Team USA going into the Olympics is good. We're going to turn this entire thing around, yeah?
I think we're ready. Look, after seeing everything that happened at trials, we had a couple world records, some American records. These kids are ready to go. And I say kids because we have a bunch of new faces. There are a bunch of new men and women that are on this team that are having the first chance to represent their country. And when I saw the electricity at trials, the excitement at trials, not only from the pool deck, but from the athletes too, they're ready to go. And I will tell you, this whole USA-Australia rivalry, that's just adding a little extra fire into us.
I saw you watching that video getting frustrated, saying are you thinking about getting back in the pool? And will our swimmers use this like you would?
I will not be getting back into the pool.
God
damn!
Come on.
Sorry, fellas.
All right. Well, we appreciate the hell out of you, man.
I could do it if I wanted to. I just don't want to.
I like that.
I got my kids.
But America.
My kids are more important.
Wait a minute. No. We'll talk about that another time. We got 4 years.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we can. Let's not attack him right
No,
now.
yeah, you're right.
Well,
we will slowly.
It's a month away.
Yeah, we will plant seeds.
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll try to get you back on team for America. We need it. We're losing in football. All right, we appreciate you, dude.
Hey, we got the Olympics, dog. We got the Olympics.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. See you.
That makes you feel better.
Oh, young faces though.
I mean, but the young face is a 17-year-old. I mean, that kid you showed us.
Apparently, we can't mess
guy's a
around
house.
either because we were saying any Tom, Dick, or Jerry could go out there and win the 7-on-7 Olympics. We need our guys out there.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Is flag football?
that's
believe
what I'm
it is
saying.
first
yeah.
year.
That's
This
the
year?
Olympic. I don't know if it's in this year or the next one.
No, because we would know the team. Wouldn't we know who our
right.
team is?
What? Do we?
Well, we don't know anything. You're right. Well, they might have a team. Yeah, they might be in
Is
we've
USA
never heard of
football
anybody.
heading up the flag football?
I don't know,
selection?
but the good news is USA
boy.
football has won the past 3 flag football world championships.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Let's go
Well,
back.
okay, but this
How
is,
many has there been?
There's been 3.
Sorry, past 4.
who
Oh,
cares?
there's been 4.
This is a tackle football country. Okay.
Okay, all right. So you don't care if we
The flag.
if we win the flag?
No,
football.
I don't.
Okay, all right. Well, hey,
Medal,
I'm with you.
medal
I'm with you,
count.
Tone.
Medal count, though.
Down here in
Yeah,
Texas, we play tackle football.
we're in Indianapolis, and you're from Pittsburgh.
But down there in Texas,
They do.
they tackle.
Yep.
They hit.
They do. Lombo said he'd go speak to the team.
Yeah.
He should.
If Bill Belichick found, there's no
Does
way.
he know? You think he knows?
You think Sean Leota wants Lombo coming in there right after one of his speeches?
Could you imagine me cold calling?
What's Bill up to? I haven't seen him in the news. I haven't seen him in the news at all.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine until you try.
I can't.
He'd love it. He would love it.
I mean,
He'd be
he's probably on his boat.
Wait for that one.
He's probably on his boat
Yeah, he's
in the Atlantic Ocean.
Let's not blow. Yeah. Let's not blow. All right, let's talk some other stuff happening around the sports world.
How can we?
I don't know. Honestly.
Damn it.
That's a great
How
point.
can we? This is shocking and disgusting.
Why have we not heard of this team until now, though? Just because this is the first time they're losing, or what? Like I've never heard of any of them.
No, apparently they lose every year.
We stink at football.
Canada scored 110 points against Brazil.
You're talking about basketball.
No, in the football they won 110 to nothing against Brazil.
Absolute wagon.
110 to nothing against Brazil. We're not even playing NFL games in Japan, and we're
So
losing.
I can't tell by the way you're delivering that message with Boston upside down on your head right there.
Yeah.
How much you're exaggerating?
I am not exaggerating.
It was 110 to nothing.
I quote.
Yeah.
It was
Brazil's not very
Brazil
good.
fielded a team.
Yeah,
they put a team on the field.
They're trying to throw passes by kicking the ball.
How many possessions? So is that?
Come on now.
Brazil had to be handing the ball off to Canada.
I don't know if they were completely clear on the rules of the game.
No chance.
I mean, you get
Why
beat
would they field a team?
Take your
Why would
chances
they field
walking
a team
into
then? What are we
Edmonton, brother.
doing?
I mean,
that's so dangerous. Why are you fielding a team? These poor kids are going to get annihilated.
AJ, think about standing on the field while 110 points get scored on you.
You can't. It's hard to score 110 points on air if it's just 11 offensive players going against no boom.
So it had to be, that was on June 22nd, 110 to nothing.
How did I hear about that? How did I hear about that?
Can we get a box score, please?
So that had to be, those college spring practices where we get the videos of like a very elderly, lifelong fan who gets the hand off, or like a Make-A-Wish situation where they're making somebody's dream come true and they hand the ball off to the person, and then the defense, because good people, trying to tackle, and chasing, and then what's it end with every single time? Spike,
Shoulders.
jump, up, a whole situation. It's awesome. It's always feel good, But that had to be the entire game.
Yeah.
Is that what every play?
We got to have footage of that, of 110 to 0. Like, did they run any offensive plays? Like, could they snap the ball?
So Canada has two teams in the tournament.
Oh, my God.
And Canada, too, beat Brazil 63-7.
So they can't. They were running offensive plays if they scored a touchdown.
I wonder how that.
Maybe not.
Their unis are sick.
The Dolphins scored 70 this year.
110, Foxy.
Add 40.
110.
Not getting complacent when you're up 77 to nothing either.
Well, especially because Team 2, 63-7.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
So
they hung 63.
Canada was in the semifinal yesterday, and they beat Austria 27-20.
So now it's Japan versus Canada?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if Canada wants anything to do with this.
We do. It's coming home, brother. It's coming home.
Are they playing a different style? Or is it CFL rules? Is it like
you walk onto the frozen tundra in Edmonton,
really.
Alberta. You take your chances,
All right, let's talk about something else in football. Russell Wilson's boxing, okay? Russell Wilson has heard what everybody said, and he said, see me in streets. I will uppercut you right in the jaw. He's looking incredibly jacked and shredded as we get our first glimpse into a Russell Wilson offseason as a Pittsburgh Steeler. AJ, obviously you're a man who has done MMA training in the offseason. We've seen you do the double leg kick thing. That's famous guy, right? That's super famous trainer.
Freddie Roach. Yeah, Freddie Roach.
Okay, and he said he's been doing this for years and years. I would assume there's going to be people that say, maybe he got away from it for a little bit, has gotten back into it. But Russell Wilson is a guy, I think, with the way he flips his hips, if you think about how much he could step on that bug with that bat, I think he's busting jaws, AJ. And does this mean that he's all the way back dialed in on the fitness? And he's got Freddie Roach now, a part of Team 3. Remember, Team 3 is a vast squad who has some inner tension whenever some people make statements and then others don't necessarily speak for other parts of Team 3. This is a brand new guy. Is that what we're reading out of this? And what are your thoughts on him and the Steelers and how it's going to go?
I don't know about brand new guy. I think it's like he's reinventing himself. He continues to do that like great actors seem to do, like great athletes do as they get older. And I read his caption. I believe he said he used to, back in the day when Russ was really cooking, he was going to Freddie Roach all the time and they were doing this and working out. And then COVID kind of shut him down and now he's back. So I think Tone and the rest of Pittsburgh should be pretty excited, man. This is your QB. He's on his way.
And for Denver, another reason to hate COVID.
Yeah.
Bingo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
True.
exactly.
Another reason to hate COVID if you're Denver. Because, I mean, he's flying around. He's flying
Was that
around.
on the video or is that you?
No, it's
Run that back. Run that back. I didn't hear it first.
Okay.
I think it's on the video.
He's moving.
Yeah, it is.
That sounded different. Was it? I sound pretty sane.
And the timing of it is the same, too.
I think it's on the video.
Yeah.
Oh, that one sounded a little muffled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's you. That's Tone.
Tony.
Tone. That was not the video. That was Tone. That was Tone.
You son of a
Listen,
bitch.
Russ has been looking for the Fountain of Youth, and he found it in the Monongahela, okay? He went and he drank that sweet nectar, and he got out there like the Pittsburgh kid, Paul Spatafora, was boom, 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 boom.
Now, Paul Spatafora would end up getting charged for pretty serious crime, but he was a damn near undefeated Italian boxer out of Pittsburgh, who we all knew and knew the story of. And Pittsburgh has some deep boxing history. Deep boxing history.
Billy Conn. They hear Billy Conn.
The other
That's who,
Pittsburgh
Mike
kid,
McCarthy used to always talk about him.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh kid.
If he wants to put on for Pittsburgh, then he should step in the ring with Jake Paul. Boom.
He would knock that piece of
Tyson.
shit out so quickly.
Okay. What a reason to sign you or Russell Wilson up for that.
Nobody was signing me up.
Well, your mouth potentially was.
Listen,
But
I'm writing checks that Russell Wilson can cash.
I don't know. I see him one training session with Freddie Roach. Obviously, I get excited that he's back in the gym and everything. But if this is like a revenge tour for Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh's the perfect city for it. The city will get behind him. The city will appreciate him. And the city has been searching for a quarterback to be their person since Seven retired. Even in maybe the last couple of years of Seven. Because I know that a lot of Steelers fans, not Tone, but a lot of Steelers fans are like, Ben's the best now. There's a couple of years where they weren't saying that about Ben at the end. Because Pittsburgh Steelers fans expect you to be great. They expect you to win in the playoffs because it is a football town. So the more, I don't want to say tough shit that Russell Wilson does, but like boxing's tough.
Yeah.
Like the more tough chugs beers, the more, the more like gritty football city stuff that Russ does, the better, I think, in the relationship. And I think you see every Yinzer go, yep, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and he'll beat you up. But he throws 3 picks in that first game.
Oh, boy.
Fields.
That's not happening. That's a revenge.
You can do whatever you want.
That's an
you
Artie
win. He can do whatever you want.
Revenge game. Okay.
I hope he does really well. I do.
Me too.
Me too.
Because Pittsburgh's never had to target Russell Wilson ever. All the shit that Russell Wilson goes through has always been ancillary stuff. Like a Mr. Unlimited video would come across a Yinzer's timeline, and they would probably cook him and then just kind of keep it moving, Whenever the Danger Witch hit the internet, the Broncos, let's ride, that stuff. Not every Yinzer knew of it. This would be something every Yinzer would know, and all their inside thoughts would become their outside thoughts. And what Russell Wilson will have to hear, I think, will be the worst of his career.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it'll be the worst of his career.
Them playing Atlanta is kind of awesome, though, because that is like hey, what if Russ throws 3 picks, and then Kirk throws 3 picks, and then Fields and Penix come in week 1?
Oh, my God. So many storylines can be developed. Speaking of storylines, the USA is losing at everything, and we need to stop it.
Now.
Joining us is a man who's going to tell us how the United States are going to continue to win in soccer.
Okay.
The other.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
Remember, this is our sport.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
The world's favorite, right?
It's our sport, though, AJ.
Yeah.
Listen,
What is our sport anymore? I don't even know.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Do we have one?
Yes, hold on. That's what I'm saying. Japan beat the shit out of the American football team.
Yes.
Okay, that was like a nice little reminder that maybe this particular organization is not the right one to be handling the United States of America representing our sport in this entire thing. I think that maybe happened in soccer already. So now you know how Japan's beating people by 3. Us beating the shit out of everybody by 21 is the storyline.
Okay.
So it's our time. This is reversing the entire thing. We need to win this Copa America. They got the World Cup champion, best player in the world, who should be playing for America because he's in the MLS.
He should be.
Who won the Balloon d'Or last year? MLS player.
Yes.
The U.S.
Our sport. To tell us more about it, Telefilla, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Gulla.
Hey, Grillo.
Boys, what's up?
Hey.
How's it going, boys?
Great to see you. Obviously, CBS Golazo host Michael Gulla here as soccer is happening in a big way. There's tournaments over here, there's tournaments over there, and these ones actually matter and have stars in all of it. This fella right here, Paisan, just got done pouring concrete. Is that right? You just got done doing this?
That's right. I still got some specks of concrete all over my forehead to splash.
Last week, you were cutting your grass. You were weed whacking. Today, you're pouring concrete. I appreciate the fact that you just, hey, dog over there, Gulla. We appreciate that.
You never pay someone for something you can do yourself, Pat. You got to work, man. Every time you work, it's a good day, man.
Love that.
Well,
Which makes me feel a certain way because, last time or 2 times ago when you were on, you said because your dad is from Italy, your parents are from Italy, and whenever we were growing up playing soccer, they talked about you being like, and this is an Italian kid who has American citizenship, is how it was talked about in America. And then you said in Italy, you was like, this is an American kid who has Italian citizenship. So right now, I think after the United States of America, American football team loses to Japan by 21 fucking points in international play yesterday, okay, in our sport. I need you to be American kid here and tell me that the United States soccer team is about to win the Copa America. Is that what I witnessed the other night whenever I was watching the boys play?
Man, wouldn't that be some shit if America wins in soccer and then doesn't win in football and basketball and all the other sports we should be winning at? Listen, I will say this. For the first time in a very long time, I look at the team, I look at the tournament, and I say, there's a chance, and there's a good chance. And we're the 5th favorite in the list right now to win the whole thing. There's a couple, obviously, big teams ahead of us, but we had a really good start to the tournament. I think when you watch Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and Colombia play, and you see how much firepower they have athletically and physically, we're there. We're there. It's very close in terms of the way we can dominate games. Obviously, in the first game, we dominate Bolivia. So there's a chance. There's a substantial chance here, and obviously, we're going to wait and see who we get hopefully, we get 3 points against Panama tonight, and who the U.S. gets in the next round. Unfortunately, it's going to either be Brazil or Colombia. So that's going to be coming out of the group.
So they get us, Gulla, is what you mean.
Yeah. Brazil just drew.
Yeah. What's that?
Brazil
Colombia boys are a problem.
Brazil did not win their first
Yeah, but
game.
Bolivia is supposed to win the whole thing coming in, and you saw what we did to them, Gulla. This Bolivia team, they're talking about being first class. Right, AJ? You know what you heard?
I heard that. That's all they did. They talked him up post-game, especially. This Bolivia team is full of firepower, as Gulla said.
Dude, I got to tell you something. I think the Bolivian players were cutting grass and pouring concrete also before this tournament.
Come on,
You don't know that. You don't know that.
That's not what we heard.
It's quite the opposite of what you guys are saying. They were the biggest dogs coming into the tournament. So I mean, you rewind and you look at the Pulisic goal and how their reaction to come out to that thing is so
Pause.
slow this is.
Oh yeah. So what are you saying? Go back a little bit. Whenever you said what their reaction to it all.
This is like ABC football right here, soccer, whatever you want to call it. When there's 2 guys go short like that, the 2 American players, the 2 guys got to come out like a house on fire. Look how lackadaisical that is. Look how
go all the way back to the beginning of that. Oh, the beginning.
Like you see 2 out there, and you got to send 2 like really fast, and he kind of just goes out there with a cup of coffee, cigar in the mouth, and just says, "I'll get there when I get there." And Pulisic says, "No way." Pulisic says, "This is going in the back of the net," and that was a great way to start the game. You look at the clock; there's 3 minutes in, they jumped all over him.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that in the middle of this game, I send you a text talking about how great America's doing, and he said they're playing against red cones right now. They're playing against red cones right now out there, and I'm excited to see how we do or fare against Panama this evening. AJ has a question for you, Gulla.
Gulla, when I watch these games, I feel like when you zoom in especially, it's a lot more physical than it seems like when you watch from the wide angle. What is considered a foul, a penalty, whatever it may be, and what is not? Because I feel like there's a fine line. In some games, the refs are calling it tight. Sometimes they let the boys play. Obviously, there's always people on the ground. Looks like they need to be, life lighted out of there, and they pop up and they play 4 seconds later. What are the physicality? Are we, the U.S. at least, are we a good physical team?
Yeah, physical, fast, strong, pretty organized, I would say. In terms of the physicality, it's like, if you go down and watch from the pitch level, it's super physical. Guys are flying around the pitch, and shoulder to shoulder is what, like by the letter of the law, is fair. But shoulder to shoulder has also turned into the pro level of like you're able to extend your arm a little bit more now, and you're able to grab if it's only a few seconds. I mean, I watched Argentina-Chile the other day. The physicality in that game was mind-boggling. I mean, I'm looking at it like these guys have to be on some type of drug. I mean, the speed and the clashes that they got into. I mean, every time they close down Messi, 3-4 guys like super fast. And these are guys that don't look big. They don't look strong. They probably wouldn't do well in a gym. But when you put them on a pitch and you put a 50-50 ball between them, God, they are so strong, low to the ground, so low center of gravity. And the game has become even more physical each year. But you go down and watch a game, like you said, and zoom into it or get down to a close level, and you'll see it's tough.
So I completely forgot about soccer in the what contact is in soccer until that TST. And literally, as I turn and run my first time on, I think I'm open. This Jamaican dude he laughed about it immediately afterwards. Definitely did it on purpose, and it was hello. He literally just puts his shoulder like right through my sternum, like literally pop and then up and then just like jogs away. And I'm like, I completely forgot you were allowed to do like that cheap shit. Like you're like allowed to do that cheap shit because there's only like one ref really out there. There's one ref on the side, and there's so much running happening. So you're exhausted, obviously, and then you just get like a couple little cheap shots in there. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot you can kind of. But then you know what it is though. The reason why AJ asked that question is because a lot of Americans, which he certainly represents, meatheads, we can't do the flopping. You know what I mean? The flopping is too much. So whenever you said that America is strong and fast, it's like, we like that. I think that's a good thing because last World Cup, he started flopping a little bit. And I think a lot of Americans kind of lost, like, that ain't how we are going to do this. It seems like where soccer is a good point for USA right now. Like, and you said the way, like, are we in a very good era right now, do you think, for the United States soccer?
We're in a very good era right now, for sure. I think we're moving in the right direction. This tournament's going to tell us more. Last time I was on here, we were kind of giving the referees some stick about, some of the stuff they get wrong. I'm going to give them a good pop now. This tournament's been super physical. They've let it go on. They've let it play. There's been a lot less flopping and a lot less rolling around. So I think even soccer fans, but even football fans, American sports fans, they want to see fast and physical, and they don't want to see the whistle get blown every 5 minutes. So that's important. In terms of like the physicality of the actual game, there's I think what people don't realize is you're getting contact from so many different awkward, unique situations, right? It could come from behind, it could come from the front, it could come aerially. I mean, there's so many different things. And then there's always those little cheap things like you spoke about, like, dude, in the box, when there's corner kicks, guys are stepping on each other guys' foot on purpose, like stomping each other's feet out. The Zat Knight pinches, the elbows, the grabbing of the fat. I mean, the grabbing of the private parts,
you guys grabbing dongs out there?
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
Grabbing nuts.
Listen, whatever it takes to win. I personally haven't done it, but I've been on the other end of it, and all those guys will tell you. So there's dirty things. There's 22 players in the field at once. The game never stops. So there's things going on off the ball all the time.
You guys are always in the pile. I get it. Yeah, always in the pile there because, there's no refs watching, which is kind of the entire move. And it'll never be considered the most physical sport, obviously. But, when you consider they're running a marathon while doing it all, it is so much running, brother. It is an absurd amount. That's like why Cristiano Ronaldo at this age still doing what he's doing is absurd because you have to be such a freak. Before we go to the Euros, because the boys do have questions, let's stay in Copa. Let's stay in America. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Grilla, obviously, the World Cup for, like the layman fan, like that's you're comparing everything to that. But the Euros and the Copa America is obviously massive tournaments. For Christian Pulisic, like, what does he need to do in order to kind of move himself to the forefront of like the game globally? Because obviously, like Americans, we talk about him like, hey, he's the best ever. He's our Captain America. But what does he need to do in this tournament, especially coming after how well he played for Milan? Like, what does he need to do for the rest of this tournament to kind of cement his place in the game globally?
What would put it out of conversation is if they went on and won this thing, because he's at the forefront of everything that they do. Even if he's not scoring, he's creating, right? He just come off his best season at AC Milan, and I can tell you something. There's a well-known thing between players and people who have even walked into the San Siro, which is where Milan play, and they say you got to have square ones to walk in there, put a shirt on, and play in a game. You got to be pretty tough mentally, physically. You got to be sure of your game. He went in there. It was a tall task. He started most of the games. He was a big piece for them. He was had his best season ever, and now he scores in this first game against Bolivia. If he gets this thing rolling, he scores 3 or 4 goals in this tournament, and they go on and win it or even get to the final, I think you got to start having the conversation about how good he is and how elite he really is. He has all the tools. I think sometimes, too, he's got a very subdued personality, so you don't really get the full effect of how good he is and how elite he is. But quietly, he's getting the job done. He's doing a fantastic job.
The reason why he has a subdued personality is because he's been the guy his whole life, so he probably always wanted to look humble. You know, like Trevor Lawrence, I think, is the same way. Like Trevor Lawrence, like has been the guy since he's like a freshman year in high school. Everybody's considering him to be the guy, so it's almost like don't act, be humble, be humble. Like I think that's like hammered into their heads. And every once in a while, I like to see a guy with some pizzazz. But his haircut, the way he plays, and I think the way he leads, he's become a better leader, I think, in this particular time than maybe at the World Cup. So I'm pumped to watch Pulisic. We got a guy.
Absolutely.
He's going to win the Balloon d'Or.
Next year.
He's going to win the Balloon d'Or, Grella. You know it. I know it.
Listen, I hope so, but he's doing fantastic, and he's on an upward trajectory. So let's hope it keeps going.
Oh, okay. You're saying let's not put too much pressure. It sounds like you're saying we got a lot. We still got a lot to do here because what was it? The last World Cup, we were ready to.
Oh yeah, I was done with him because he was the guy who was flopping and bitching nonstop, and it's like, hey, listen, pal, like we got a lot of game left here. Okay,
you're the guy.
Yeah, let's go score one maybe.
That's because he was in the Premier League. Now that he's in a real league in the Serie A, he knows.
Okay, maybe the Italians got him straight over there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know about that, but yeah, he's definitely got more
Thank you,
goals, that's for sure.
All right, we're ending our time on ESPN. We will continue on ESPN Plus and YouTube. You can catch this handsome Italian man on CBS Galazzo, covering all of the soccer every single weekend. He lays concrete, then he drops bombs to the soccer world. We appreciate the hell out of him, just like we appreciate you. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Bang! I mean, right on. That was a 20-second.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. Great bit.
Grella, that just happened right in your face. 20 seconds, just a lead up there. Thank you.
Incredible. It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Grella.
Well,
I know we're still talking about you hitting that hard out. That was a beautiful thing. But
No.
We watched it happen, and hopefully they're not grabbing their dong to do this, but you guys like slingshot yourselves a lot in soccer. Like it's a special teams move. You want to slingshot you guy like around a dude or whatever. In soccer, when I'm down there at TST, you guys are grabbing dudes and like slingshotting and not only stopping all of their momentum, but gaining ground on them all the time. That should be illegal as hell, I think.
Yeah, it's like a really grabby, touchy. It's almost like an art. It's almost like the game within the game because you can grab guys and you can hold them and you can be physical with them as long as you just don't overdo it. Like I marked a lot of bigger guys on corner kicks. I was lucky enough when I played in the MLS. I marked Drogba and Lampard and Gerrard. And like
Drogba.
Some of these monsters on and I was much smaller. But right before I had this little trick. Right before they would do the corner kick, I just put them in like a bear hug for like a second and a half, and it was enough to put them off of their run, off of their route, or however you want to picture it. And it was enough to like aggravate them. And listen, I didn't have to head the ball, but I knew for sure they were not going to head the ball. So you can grab guys and you can be as physical as you want within reason. Again, you got to know the art of it.
Yeah, the set piece stuff where they have designed plays, it's just like whenever somebody runs man or press against a wide receiver with a quarterback on a timing route. It's like if you get them off time, ball's not going to be there. So we're completely out of here. So that's on you. All I got to do is imagine Grella just on Drogba.
Gotcha.
Yeah, on the pride of Ivory Coast. I actually couldn't imagine.
Dude, sometimes it's just a really strong pull with one hand so that nobody could really see it, like on the backside of them.
Have you been training with Russell Wilson in a boxing gym with Freya Rose?
Like Jonah Hill and Moneyball.
You just make believe it's a wheelbarrow filled with concrete, man. Just grab it.
I can't believe you're out there laying concrete. I cannot believe. I appreciate and respect that you are. We do love it. And Maraldo is back there clapping because his dad is a concrete man as well. Maraldo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, FM Maraldo Concrete.
Best in the biz.
Can't book the fucking guy because he's so busy, actually, laying so much concrete 40 years in. Hey, Frank, come on. Get us in the schedule.
Please.
He's got so much concrete to lay.
Yeah.
What do you want from the guy?
Booked out till 2040.
He's got so much concrete.
Yeah.
I think they even say he didn't wear knee pads. This guy's with no knee pads.
Yeah, he's paying for it now, but
His knees are cement now.
No knee pads.
That's crazy.
Nah, you didn't
Good
wear
for
knee pads. I never did.
Yeah,
either.
dude, some of these guys you see working now, they're not like the guys from 20, 30 years ago. I mean, these guys are unicorns. You're never going to see them again.
Amen. Amen.
No respirator, no knee pads. Just get to work, boys.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
What are you, Grell? You building a patio or something? What are you doing?
I'm building I'm putting a shed on top of this slab. So
That's nice.
yeah,
Get some rebar in there.
Of course, no permits, none of that. Just get it done.
Whoa,
Of course, whoa. You got all the permits. You got all the permits. This guy's in New Jersey right now calling us. That's great. It's great that he's calling us from New Jersey. You have a field back there? Your kids play soccer? Are they going to kick off the shed?
Yeah, no, it's going to be on the other side. I got the little field on the next to the other stuff. So yeah, they're out there training every day, man. I got a friend from Argentina who came over the holidays, and he said it's harder to get 3 points on this pitch that I have in my backyard here than it is in Old Trafford, man, because the kids just are just animals and just go after it every day. It's incredible.
I assume you enjoy the hell out of watching that all. They are American kids.
Yep.
Okay, that is how they are talked about.
Next gen.
But one day, I assume they'll all play in Italy, which Tone Diggs would like to ask you about, Grella.
Yeah, Grella, the Italians, the Azzurri, they squeaked by in the 98th minute against Croatia. They haven't been able to score a lot this Euros. They are the defending champions, though. How do we feel about the Italians' chance in moving forward? I believe they kick off the knockout round on Saturday.
Great ball.
Yeah, we're all losing hair watching these guys, man. But if you've ever watched them play over the last, I don't know, since I've been born 37 years old, and we've watched them every single game, every single international tournament, they do this all the time. They leave it late. They sort of do the bare minimum. They drive you crazy in the way that they play.
Of course.
I mean, this goal was just fantastic the way they put this together. I was watching this game with my dad outside, man. The guy was crying like a baby. It was incredible. Like he was like crying, like, you know, when you make a sound when you cry, like that kind of cry. It was not just like tears in the eyes. It was like that's how intense that moment was for, I think, a lot of Italians, especially a lot of Italian Americans. So they go through now and play against the Switzerland side. That's not a normal Switzerland side. They got a lot of big pieces in the team. They got Xhaka and Freuler in the middle and Mbolo up top. So it's going to be a difficult ride. But this is when, you know, if you're a neutral soccer fan or you're trying to get into it, this is when you want to tune into this tournament. This is when it gets really good in the knockout stage. It's one and you're done. You lose, you go home. So it gets really interesting now.
So was your dad so emotional because was it the Croatians that were snapping spaghetti in front of the Italians' faces?
That was the Albanians.
It was the Albanians.
Albanians.
Oh, so did that add a chip on the shoulder here for the? Well, I guess I shouldn't say chip. What should I say?
Spaghetti.
Mozzarella. Some fried penne.
On the shoulder, or
fried mozzarella.
why so emotional? The Euros are a big deal. These Euros are a massive ordeal. I think that's what I'm learning by watching not only Gumpy watch it for his grandma from England, but just watching the scenes and the videos from behind the scenes at this tournament. It's like that's why I want America to be in it and win it. But this is a massive ordeal. This tournament for like everybody. I guess I need to respect it a little bit.
I think there's a real attachment and sense of pride in like the country that you came from and the way that you interpret the game and sort of the culture that represents it. This is them snapping the spaghettis. This is one of the better scenes. There's been some fights and some bad scenes also, but this is one of the better ones where they're having a good time. But the energy in the stadium, the energy around it. I mean, I think there's, like I said, there's such a sense of pride and belonging to the country that you're from and their ability to play football. So people really buy in and people get really connected. I mean, in 1994 when they had the World Cup back in the States, I mean, that's when I fell in love with the game, just because of how passionate, even the neutrals were, and even people in this country, and how much that moved the needle for a little while. So we're going to see it again. We're going to see World Cup fever here soon, and obviously tune into this because this is it's really good.
How's Tony Mola doing? How's Coach doing?
Yeah.
I was with Tony yesterday. We played golf all day, and then we went out to eat to an Italian restaurant. We had a good time. He was, dude, it was the funniest thing in the world, man. We played 27 holes. He's only used to playing 18. People don't realize how big Tony is. He's got big mitts, his hands, and he's got this big old back. Dude, on the 25th hole, I swear to God, I thought I was going to have to tow him out of there. He was done. He was done. He couldn't hit the ball. He's like, I'm tired, man. I thought we had to tie him up by the leg and pull him out of there.
He has that hip, too. Remember, he has a bad hip, I think, at this point.
Dude, he couldn't he could not move.
I don't know how
Watching him
Tony
bend
Mola
down-
made it 27. Did you guys go to iCryo? Would we tour it all before? There's 27 holes with Tony Mola right now.
He's like, dude, you got to feed me. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm like, Tony, like, what the fuck? Like, and so then I had to bring him around the corner. A buddy of mine, we went to an Italian restaurant. We filled Tony up. We got him some pasta, some braciole, and we nursed him back to full fitness, man.
You know what he needs.
Hey, come on now, fill him up. Fill him up now.
The regat.
Look at this guy.
He needs to be filled. Fill this guy.
This guy.
Hold it onto his back.
Coach, happy you got filled up with some rigatone. You know what did you guys?
Some braciole, dude.
What do you guys order whenever you go? Because your dad is a chef from.
My dad's a chef from Naples, obviously, but
Florida.
He's owned his own stuff. He's done his own stuff now. But I'll always get like a good pasta if they have something homemade pasta. Like yesterday, we got pork braciole with some pasta. We had like a couple clams in the beginning, some shrimp oregano. You know, I like the spicier stuff, so I'll stick with that stuff. But everything was pretty good. But Tony, man, he needed it. Tony was in bad shape, man. I was worried about him.
How was the
Fazoli's right now.
Please stop.
I need pasta.
Can we stop, please?
Dude, and then, Pat, then he goes, the guy's a friend of mine, so he brings out, like, he goes, oh, do you guys want desserts on the house? We go, no, we're good. Tony's like, no, I don't eat dessert.
Oh, okay.
This guy brings out this tiramisu that's like,
who?
It's like for three people.
Who? What'd you say?
A tiramisu, like it's actually, I learned this the other day. It's tiramisu, which means pull me up because it's got espresso and liquor in it. So
tiramisu.
this guy brings out this guy brings this cake out that's like for 3-4 people. Tony goes, no, I'm good. I don't want dessert. Dude, he deletes it. He deletes it. I don't even get a spoon. I don't even get a spoon in the thing. It's gone.
Yes, please.
So I was like, shit. Imagine if you ate dessert, dude.
Tony Caboli. Just living up to his name, man. Just like I said. He's got a brother in Pittsburgh.
We just got 2 Italians roaming a golf course.
Yeah.
You know, just turn the corner. We need all the pasta and tiramisu.
Yep.
That's not what it's called, but.
Yeah, that is what it's called. You heard him say it.
Yeah, okay.
Tiramisu.
The pasta we had down in Cary, North Carolina, you rank it top 6, 5, top 7?
He was saying like Fazoli's better.
Oh, yeah, Fazoli's. You like the chicken parm nuggets.
They're samplers to die for.
So good.
Yeah, breadsticks. I mean, how many times do we have to say it?
Yeah, piping hot every time.
Can't beat them.
No, I'm not kidding. I wouldn't feed it to an animal. I'm not actually kidding.
Whoa. To
Not even a dog?
Thank you, Grella.
Stray dog.
Thank you.
Joining us now.
It was tough.
After a tiramisu performance that people are going to talk about for lifetimes, for a golfing performance that people are heralding as one of the most electrifyingly conditioned athletes in the history of golf, TST legend, United States of America soccer hero, Tony Mola.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony, how's it going, pal?
I'm just trying to eat a nice lunch after working hard today. Some guy's sitting around all morning like Grella, and I see his face. So I don't know what he's talking about, but you said golf, so I assume it's from yesterday. So let's go.
How'd it go? 27 holes. I would never sign up for that in a million years. Did you know you were playing 27 holes?
No, I had no idea. Who the hell would sign up for 27 holes when it's 98 degrees out and, and nothing covered? But I played. Actually, we played 26, I think, right? Is that right?
Hey, Tony, how tired were you at the end on a scale from 1 to 10?
What do you mean at the end? You mean still now? What are you talking about?
We got a hangover.
I was so tired, man. No, I do. I have a golf hangover. I love the game. I don't think I'm ever going to play again.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so let's talk about the post golf. Heard you had some great Italian. Hey, I heard it was some great Italian from the boys, and then even a free dessert from the chef. I mean, grazie. I heard all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a surprise that Grella would take me out after that to a nice Italian. By the way, Grella, if you go to Long Island, Grella knows everybody. There's not he's like the mayor everywhere. We drove 20 minutes from the course. He's waving to people when we go in, and he knows everybody. I couldn't wait to eat. I hadn't eaten all day. Well, Grella's got to talk to like 15 different people. Then the father, who was off, What's the father's name? I forget. The
Angelo.
father comes, Angelo. Angelo's not working. Like, he's like retired, but somehow showed up smelling nice in the cologne, everything. He couldn't wait to see Grella again. They were talking about how they buried some guy a couple of years ago. The guy talked to him. The guy hit him with a 2x4. Like, I mean,
what?
It's unbelievable. It was incredible.
Well, I heard that nothing was as incredible as the tiramisu. I heard it was a good tiramisu. Best in the world.
Or was it flan or tea? It was like something. I wouldn't know. It was gone.
I didn't give Grella one chance to get to that piece.
That's what we heard. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. Have a great lunch.
Hey, by the way, man, Grella can play some golf. I don't know what he told you about my golf game, but Grella can play some golf.
That makes sense. He's a stick. Obviously, the guy's a stud, just like you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Mola.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right, boys.
Is he on? Tony.
Sorry, boys.
Tony. We're beating Panama tonight? Yeah, we're winning this whole thing?
Oh, yeah, we're beating Panama tonight. Don't worry about that.
And?
I'm going to go 3-1 tonight.
And we're winning the whole thing?
We can win it. Got to beat Uruguay first. Somewhere along. They don't have to beat them in the first round, but they're gonna have to beat either Colombia or Brazil. Look, if we're good enough, we'll take care of it. We'll find out, though, next couple days. I'm rooting for them. Look right here. Game day, my friend.
Hell
Game
yeah.
day.
Let's go.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Mola, appreciate you.
Hey, Tony!
You hear that, Grella? Maybe you can, same.
I know. I should have put on a USA shirt too. Shoulder support, man.
Yeah, but you're laying concrete.
Yeah,
That's
don't
right.
want to do that.
27 holes. 27 holes. Tony Mola's acting like he got wheelchaired in there.
Yeah.
This guy's laying concrete the next day. Jeez Louise. All right, can't wait to go to. Remember, you're in New Jersey, not in Long Island.
That's right.
Remember, because
Yeah.
Tony.
Permits
Tony
and
just
whatnot.
didn't know.
Tony didn't know. We appreciate you, man. Any other games we should be keeping our eye out for?
The big game, obviously the Italy-Switzerland one. You're gonna look at any time. The next big one that is Brazil, the one that Brazil plays, because they tied Costa Rica 0-0, which is one of the biggest embarrassments probably in their most recent history of not even being able to score a goal.
Yes. Oh, no.
So the next one that Brazil plays is huge. Obviously, any one of these games, I mean, you take your pick. Just looking at them now, though, you look at Spain and Georgia. Georgia got through to the skin of their teeth.
Go
and the
Dogs.
other big one is. And the other one is France-Belgium, because France haven't been good at all, and Belgium look like they're starting to figure things out. So that's going to be a really interesting one. But none of the big dogs, really, aside from Spain, have really hit their stride yet. So we'll see. I mean, now they have to.
England's going to beat Slovakia by 10?
I mean, we'll see. Interesting thing, Gumpy, I saw they moved back up to the favorites of the tournament.
Whoa.
Obviously.
Hell yeah.
It's all coming together. Nobody's looked good, Grella. Unless if Italy beats Switzerland, then we know how that story goes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I spoke to a bunch of Italians that they would love to play against England again. But yeah, I think it's because what's happened here, guys, is like England and Italy have ended up on the easier side of the bracket. You'll see there, and Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, Belgium, all on one side. So that side of the bracket becomes really, really difficult. The right side, a lot easier, where England and Italy are. So I think that's why the odds have shifted a little bit. But this is going to be such a great next couple weeks.
Are you saying it's coming home, Grella?
I mean, listen, I'm saying they're their favorites, and they got to figure something out really, really soon. I still don't think they look good. But then again, to your point, like France hasn't looked good. Italy hasn't looked good. I mean, you could say probably Germany and Spain are the only two that have looked okay, aside from the rest. I mean, France has had such a slow start. It's incredible. They don't have one goal from open play.
So the Euros stinks? Everybody stinks?
You know what? The Euros have had a slow start. You have to say.
Oh, no.
And the Copas.
Copa has been electrifying to watch. It is so fast-paced.
I like that.
Yeah.
Copa's been better. To be honest.
You don't say.
And I know I came on and said the opposite. I said, the level of European competition is higher, but Copa's been really good. It's had a really good start. It's had some really entertaining games. I think the leading goal scorer in the European competition is own goals.
It is.
I saw. That's not good.
It's embarrassing.
So it's been slow.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I understood what you
There's
just
been
said.
like 7 own goals, and then the next leading scorer is some guy who scored like 2.
The lad from Georgia has 3, scored 2 yesterday.
Own goals is representing as a category.
As their own category.
Okay, got it. As a person.
Yes.
That's not 7 of them. I saw that one where the pass back where he passed the goalie. Has it been a bunch of those?
That was bizarro. That was just a massive, massive mistake. But
that's not.
I think that was Copa America, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, it was against Portugal.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's against Portugal. Sorry.
Yeah, Copa America.
We don't do that.
We don't do that stuff.
We ball out.
We're up here at the top.
Yeah, that was just a bizarro miscommunication where he passed it back, goalkeeper not on the same page. I mean, listen, like it's just defenders, you know what I mean? They're not the brightest, you know. You start as a striker and you keep moving back.
Hey, so is that the inner soccer? You guys are talking shit. I mean, it happens in American football a lot. I mean, it happens in football a lot. You know that this guy's probably a linebacker, and if you see any fucker that's built like him, he's probably that or a fullback. And you just go, okay, those are big square-headed people, and that is exactly who they are. And you shit talk. Then the other punter obviously gets a lot. Kicker gets a lot. You guys are defenders, and are you like outside set? Like, do you categorize it even more so because?
Oh, that definitely. Like, so think about it. Every sport you play, especially let's talk just soccer specifically, though. You start out, you want to score goals. You want to be the guy. You want to score goals. You want to. No kid, wakes up, gets out of bed, and says, "I want to defend people." No one. So you start as an attacker. Then you realize you're not very good at it. They drop you into the midfield, right? And you try to pass and do other things, and then they realize you're not very good, and then you end up as a defender. If you still can't cut it there, you end up as a goalkeeper, and which is the worst. And then if you're not good enough in goal, then you're done. You're doing something. You're doing concrete or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality. And when I look back at that own goal, I mean, listen, think about the defender. It's a defender and a goalkeeper, so you're talking about super low IQ. And then you're talking about a defender who the goalie's got a bright red jersey on or bright green or it's like a fluorescent color. He doesn't even see that in his peripherals, which I don't know how he can't see where the goalie is in his peripherals. And then obviously it's just a disaster from there. But don't make no mistake, the attackers that day were like, oh, they're at it again.
Tony, we love you, Tony Miola.
Yeah, love you, Tony.
Love you, Tone.
Love you, Tony Miola.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Drella, we appreciate you. We'll be watching you this weekend, right?
All right. Thanks for having me, boys. Always good.
Where do we watch? On Paramount?
Yeah, Paramount on the Golasso Network. Yep.
What time? Just all day?
Yeah, I think the show from this weekend is 11. I mean, it's a 24/7 channel, but my show is on from 11 to 12 and 2 to 3.
Okay, 11, 12, 2 to 3. Saturday.
We'll be recapping, so.
Saturday and Sunday?
Yes.
11, 12, 2 to 3, Saturday, Sunday, Paramount Plus, Golazzo Network.
Boom. Yep.
Can't wait to watch. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Paisano, Michael.
Too much fun, guys. Thank you.
See ya. He's going back to lay concrete.
Yeah, it has to.
Hey, so what tournament Ronaldo lost last night? I saw.
He hasn't scored yet. He's in the Euros.
Biggest upset in Euros history was Georgia beating Portugal yesterday.
Them dogs had Portugal down 2-0.
So was he out of it? Or is he going to advance? Or
no,
there's no way they're going to let Ronaldo get out of that tournament.
They're in. They're on the left side of the bracket, which is the much more difficult side of the bracket over there.
Okay. They'll beat Slovenia, though. Probably. Come on.
Yeah, everybody's talking about you need seeding and everything for these wins because we're watching games that are not winning, and they're like, no, they're still good, but the seeding's not good. Then they go, oh, well, you're on the wrong side of the bracket. I don't think – does anybody understand how –
No, absolutely.
Any of it works?
I mean, how's Austria playing Turkey?
I thought the best team usually wins a tournament.
Austria won their group.
Best team wins the tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to beat everybody.
Yeah.
This is March Madness all of a sudden with countries.
Write it down.
Let's remember it, you know? But when they say the side of the bracket, there's only 2 games. So is Italy saying that side of the bracket's easier because they got England potentially, and he's just burying England? You guys are the favorites to win the entire thing?
Yeah, because of where we are. Like, if we were on the same side with Spain, Portugal, and France, and we had to play them in the quarters, like...
There's a chance.
They're like the way it's set up. If England gets
who puts
past
the bracket together,
it's just how it plays out with
USA
who wins,
people.
Who's second, who's the best team in third. But like Netherlands, I don't fear them. Italy always gets England. That's how that goes. But that's going to be a tough game against Switzerland for them too.
Okay.
And as bad as England has looked, if they make a couple changes and Southgate gets his head out of his ass, we can fucking win this thing. I'm not taking the bait on this bullshit again. I fucking had it.
Ty says,
I was listening.
Same old story.
It is the same old. I'd love for it to come home. All right. I would, but is it going to happen?
Well, you have to believe. What are you going to do? Say no? We're going to lose. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, tap the thing.
Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 24 fucking years. I'm still here. You got to believe. You have to.
Jordan Poyer's in Costa Rica. He looks like he's ready.
He's going to be juiced up for the season.
He looked great.
Yeah, he did.
He looked happy.
Great tarp, game day tarp for him.
Yeah, he was glowing.
Yeah.
Grella's got some sweet tarps, real breathable summer material that looks nice.
He's ridiculous.
I like his ball caps, too.
Yeah, Grella cracks me. He makes me laugh. He talks shit on everybody.
He does. He's a funny guy.
Funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, Foss texted me and said, tell Grella to go fuck himself for all the defenders. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Foss said that.
What are you?
What does that mean?
Foss is a good man. He was out here in
yeah.
Indianapolis
He
yesterday.
was.
All right. I got to, all right. I think that's it.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'm pumped for tonight. I actually, because they're...
Round 2?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah,
That's at 4 o'clock.
NBA draft.
I'm pumped for the soccer game. And
then,
yeah, exactly.
holy shit, we got draft,
Yes.
which the USA is going to win, I heard.
yes.
Yep.
And Bronny's going to go.
And then soccer game, USA is going to win, I heard.
Yep.
Right.
And then debate, USA is going to win, right?
No, that's
Well,
the only
a lot
one.
of
that
people-
we're-
This is all-time internet tonight, boys.
A lot of people
All-time
say-
What time is it?
internet.
It's at
What time is
9. That's the only thing we're going to lose.
9 o'clock.
I think so. Usually it is.
No.
It might be at 8.
US is winning this whole thing.
Yep.
It's a good Thursday.
It's gonna bring everybody together. I'm glad. I forgot it was tonight.
Well, they figured out how to mute the mics. So that's a huge development in the debate.
Should go well.
The internet's going to be phenomenal.
Or terrible.
No.
Well, yeah, that's
Kind of goes hand in hand.
That's what I'm talking
A little bit of everything.
That's what we're talking about. What we need everybody to understand is that I think we all see it the same way, but from different sides. How is this where we are? That's what people are going to say.
For sure.
For whatever reason you want to say that, you can say that. And there'll be stats that'll back up you to say that. There'll be a lot of other people seemingly that you can find a lot easier now with how small the world is that feel the exact same way you do. That's going to empower it. But let's just remember, we're all in this thing together.
Amen. Right.
And we need to be by each other's side more so than ever.
Hell yeah.
And I think we can. You know, I think sports are obviously bigger than they've ever been. That's unifying, right? We can all get on the same side of stuff. The Olympics come around. That's fun. Huh?
Let's go.
great.
That's fun. We have a team.
Less than a month.
Now, granted, our USA football team tried to divide us more than any politician has ever done before.
No, I think we were all on the same side. Actually, figured the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They actually unified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't play. Don't send a team if you're going to do that.
Yeah. Enough with the letters to
Opt out.
D-Bone.
Yeah, exactly.
D-Bone, we love you, but you're not
Debo
ready.
turned him down.
Of course he did. You got to pay to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not paying to go
Yeah, how am
play.
I gonna scrape together $4,500? Kidding me?
We need better USA football team.
Yes, we do.
We also need America to come together. And that's what's going to happen tonight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
All right,
Can't
we'll
wait.
be back tomorrow for all the reaction of the draft and USA and just, the world.
Yeah.
Should be a fun one.
Should be.
Pumped.
Thankful to be here. Lucky to be here. We appreciate you so much. What a time. I think Parker McCollum's coming in here tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Come on now.
Can't wait.
I think Parker McCollum's coming in here tomorrow.
Bring some Lucchese's, okay?
He is a Lucchese guy.
Pretty jacked, too, man. Like, dude's jacked.
He was on CMA Fest, and he was walking around in the front, and it was like, is that guy posing like that to Peacock? And it was like, no, I think his traps were actually.
Yeah, he's enormously
White tee?
strapped
No, he had a black T-shirt tucked into jeans, and it was just like.
Yeah, ball cap.
Yeah, he was a monster. Called him this morning and said, you want to come on the show? And he said, sure. And I said, what juice are you on? And he said, I'm on orange juice. And I said,
okay.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Bingo.
He is.
Is he in person?
Yeah, in person. He has a show here in Indianapolis. He does well here in Indy. Sells out.
I think he sells out pretty much everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, I assume that is the case.
Parker McCollum football, baby.
He was with George Strait in that
Yeah, he
record.
was.
Yeah, bingo.
102, 905. Now, he will not take, and we're not going to give him any credit because obviously that's a George Strait's concert or whatever. But when you get to play in front of 102,000 people, you're probably going to pick up some more fans.
I mean, I'll never forget going to Alabama and us going to his concert and being like, oh, this will be sweet. There'll be like 500 people out there. And we go side stage. There's like fucking 20,000 people out there. It's like, holy shit, this guy really does move the
Just
needle.
trance. In a trance.
Oh, yeah.
Singing every song. Yeah, they were singing every song. They were dialed in. That's for sure.
There was a couple groups of people, hundreds of people that we were able to see from side stage. I don't think they blinked for maybe 45 minutes.
Well, some people did. A lot of arguments we saw getting going.
The boyfriends bringing the girlfriends to a Parker McCollum show are always upset, it seems like. Not always. Not always. But there does seem to be a couple.
Typically.
Because he is so incredibly attractive.
His stage presence. Yeah, the girl,
guitar
guy gets mad.
Yeah, the guitar.
When he starts rocking back and forth on those
He
occasions.
starts air humping. He does those big air humps, and then the guys get mad because the girls looking at him.
I didn't see any
Swinging no air humps.
They were subtle.
Like Wes Welker.
He's got. Yeah, he didn't do the Wes Welker, Kenny Chesney.
Oh yeah, I like how Kenny diagrammed that or showed us.
Yeah, right over here.
Kenny told him.
Boom, boom.
He did full on.
Oh yeah. What a great move though. That's guaranteed to get a cheer. Guaranteed.
Especially at Kenny Chesney, everybody's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny Chesney feel good concert.
Oh yeah.
I mean vibes. That is a vibes concert. And everybody's singing along, having a good time. Those Parker ones feel good too, but everybody's singing every single word. It was like, it felt like it was 16 to like 25.
Yep.
Sure.
That's what I was going to say.
I think that was like, and they were just.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Okay. Grow with him.
And
exactly.
He's growing too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what he's doing with those guitar picks now.
Oh, my God.
Flicking them to the
back row. Exactly.
He probably needs to get bigger.
Yeah.
He needs to go into an arena.
He's blinding poor people. Those things coming out of his hand like 80 miles an hour.
No, he's shaping them like a cornhole bag.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, into pockets.
Hold your beer up, lady. Hold your beer up. He winks at him and keeps singing. Yep.
That's Parker McCollum football.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guy, actual rancher.
Yeah, he's a weapon.
In the country world.
Light ranching.
Like actually on the horse growing, like the whole thing. On it, throwing the fucking hay, the whole thing. Him playing at the rodeo down in Houston and riding a horse to the fucking stage. That had to be like the coolest country musician thing.
Yeah, coolest entrance ever.
You know? I don't know how many other have done it. I assume that's a very normal thing back in the day of country music.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He's like this old school, just like super handsome. I'm heartbreak country.
Yeah.
Pumped.
I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, exactly.
Need a bigger seat for this fucking guy.
No, we should get him a smaller seat. Make him look even fucking bigger.
Oh, look at him. That might have been a couple weeks ago.
Could have been.
I think he's put on more muscle since then somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Look how cool he looks.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Ryan Smith in him.
Because the hat?
Because how cool he looks.
Oh, because he looks cool. You think Ryan Smith is going to take that as a massive compliment.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's something Ryan Smith is taking.
Yeah, he should. Parker should as well.
The guy owns 2 teams.
There you go.
Hey, there's movement in the NHL. I don't know if you saw this. General manager of the Edmonton Oilers, fresh off an NHL Finals with Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, who's going through surgery. He's going to be out for a little bit. Obviously, all these hockey players are injured. And a good team, good roster. Maybe he's leaving the Edmonton Oilers. People don't know if it's retirement or what he's doing. His contract just kind of ran out, and he didn't sign a new one. I assume they were trying to re-sign him. I'm not 100% sure. If he's going to retire, congrats. I mean, hell of a... That team's good team.
Yeah, almost did it.
Good run. I mean, hell of a run. Not easy in hockey, obviously. But isn't like, and this is me just saying this to a hockey person, like that is a team that I would assume people would want to hire the general manager from and of. And is that how the NHL operates? Is somebody just going to try to pull him out of, is it retirement? What is it?
Yeah, if it's not retirement, certainly he's going to get offers, and maybe it's not a GM role, maybe it's a president role, but either way, he's going to be running an organization somewhere if he chooses to keep working.
So, and this is just me. I have not texted or know anything about anything. Ryan Smith got Danny Ainge, right, from Boston.
Yep, when Brad Stevens went up. Yep.
So, like, he's got a hockey team now. It feels like there is a Ryan Smith, like, blueprint almost. Like, hey, I am not so much into myself that I don't realize, like, this is not.
Sure.
We need to hire the best person available. I assume this GM guy is going to get a lot of offers, but that feels like a Ryan Smith Utah hockey move.
Layup.
To me. Yeah, that does feel like one. But I'll be excited to see what you do whenever you're trying to build a team. Whenever you have a roster, but you have a brand new brand and a brand new city. They don't even have a team name yet.
Need a splash.
They do. They do need to, and I feel like that's Ryan Smith football.
Yeah, bringing in Kenny Holland would certainly be a splash. It's tough though on the two sides of it. It's like if he's walking away from Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, who are two of the best players in the game right now, to go to Utah, which
Why would you?
Is certainly exciting. Money's a factor. Maybe he wants to be in the States. Maybe it's a fan. Who knows?
What's the normal money for like a general manager? Do we know what that is?
No, it's kind of like they're not really.
He's 68.
Put out there.
68 years old.
I bet it's a big range. I bet it's a huge range, though, right? From some GMs
BC.
making tons of money and some not as much.
Well, anytime you don't know what people's salaries are, there's normally a big range, you know?
1.9 million a year, it says he's getting.
1.9 million?
Yeah, Kenny Holland ain't walking away from the game of hockey, I'll tell you that much.
So it's just not a good fit? If they would have won it all, would he be leaving?
He was also the GM of those Wings teams that won a bunch.
He's been around the game of hockey forever.
This feels like Ryan Smith football. We
makes
should
sense?
send a request in, but if not Ryan, somebody, you know?
Give him $4 million, double his salary.
And Ryan's like, how much? I only got to. They got to pay $180 million guaranteed in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what,
whole different world.
how much I got? $5 million.
$4 million. I
Salary
was going to
cap.
wipe my ass with that. Okay, I won't.
Ryan isn't like that.
No, he's not, but he could be.
When it presented in front of him, that is not a number that is like
small,
absurd to think about. That got running the whole team. Oh, okay. So what do I got? No, that. Okay, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll do that. But if not him, then somebody. We assume. Let's keep an eye on that for the NHL.
Hell yeah.
Let's continue to talk about the NHL.
Yeah.
Because there's right. Is there news often in the NHL in the offseason?
Yeah, so we're about to hit the draft is this weekend.
Oh, we knew that.
Yeah.
Right?
Tomorrow.
Live from the Sphere.
That's going to be sweet.
Oh, yeah, because Chucky said Bill Zito was in Vegas and flying back for...
Bingo for the parade on Sunday morning back there in South.
And then you'll have free agency next week.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, NHL.
Come on now, hockey.
Thank you, NHL. We appreciate that. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Let's remember to try to enjoy every single day. Obviously, you can be in a bad mood. You're allowed to have those days where you have emotions that aren't great, but we never know what's going to happen tomorrow, okay? Recently reminded of that. There's a lot going on, obviously, but let's enjoy every single day that we have because we have no idea what could possibly happen to anybody. Let's be nice to each other. Let's be a friend and let's tell a friend something nice. It might change their entire life. We're in this thing together. Let's remember that tonight.
Yeah, bingo.
We're in this thing together.
Yep.
Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.